welcome or welcome back to my channel, and happy Halloween. Even if it's like June, it's Halloween now. You're in Halloween town and ASO town, so welcome or welcome back to my channel. I'm ASO. This is Halloween town, ASO town, tarot time. And in today's reading, I have good news for you. Things are getting better, and that's why this reading came to you. And now you might be like, but ASO, things are already great. And I would say, oh my God, that's awesome. Things are gonna get even better. So no matter what, whether things are going well for you already, or if you are really needing a message that things are gonna get better, this is it for you. This video showing up for you is the sign that you need that things are getting better. So gonna be a pretty straightforward video today. We are going to start by looking at how are things getting better for you. So obviously, if this part does not resonate or does not sound like something you are going through in your life, I would say that reading is not for you. But if all three readings resonate for you, then take that as a sign that things are getting better for you in all areas of life. But after that, we are just going to get some channeled messages from one of my message decks, and then we are going to finish off with a guidance message for you. I haven't picked what message I will do quite yet, but if it's before Halloween, you should sign up for my email list, link down below, because I am sending a free spread to everyone signed up for my email list. I'm really excited about it. But if you are not signed up for my email list anyway, you should be, because if you ever want to know about things like personal readings being open, updates like that, get exclusive access to things like future classes and information around that, and also get little freebies and random cute animal pictures, should definitely be signed up. But with that being said, we have 3 different groups for you to choose from today, with 3 different oracle cards on top. So starting with group number 1, we have this first orange oracle card, and this, I would assume this is a granite of some kind, Jack Skellington carving on top. Literally my favorite Halloween and Christmas movie. Do you consider Nightmare Before Christmas a Halloween or Christmas movie? I consider it to be both. So I like that it's versatile like that. And then for group number 2, we have this blue oracle card and this orange calcite pumpkin jack-o'-lantern with a fancy looking hat on top. I guess you could call it a witch hat. And then finally for group number 3, we have this mauve-y purple oracle card with this red little witchy ghost on top. And it does have this little tag on its bottom that says free, if that's a sign for anyone. And it also is a sign that I was not told what this stone is. I would imagine it's probably a granite or quartz or something similar, or an amalgamation of rock stuff. Because it was free. So yeah. With that being said, go ahead and pause the video if you need to decide which pile you feel most drawn to. It is absolutely okay to be drawn to more than one, but if you would like to watch all the readings anyway, just to see which ones resonate for you, go for it. Take what resonates, don't let the rest take from you. But intro squad, it is time. We are going to make our wish, and we are going to ask a question. I do not know where my lighter is. It is problem. I have million lighters, and all of a sudden I cannot find one when I need one. One moment. Houston, we have lighter. Over. Okay, so let's start by making our wish. We are going to make a wish on our sun candle today. I need to top up my candles myself and get some new stuff out. It's on the docket, but for now, we are going to make a wish on this sun candle, which I think is perfect to just radiate positivity, joy, success, lots of light and good vibes as the Northern Hemisphere heads into the darker months of the year. So if you would like to go ahead and focus on the candle while you make your wish, you can even pause it and pretend like your wish is being infused with it. Feel free to, but I'm going to do the same. I am burning myself. That hurts. I wish I could stop burning myself and light this candle. Ha. Well, I didn't stop burning myself, but I lit it. So may yours, mine, and all our wishes come true. And if you're like, Aso, how are you? Fine. I'm an Aries. That's how. Okay. So, intro squad. This is my question for you. What is a smell, taste, sound, or experience that you have experienced recently that you forgot about, that like you really enjoyed or that was really meaningful? Or what is a scent, sound, experience that brings you back to your childhood and gives you a sense of familiarity? Bonus points if it's something like really unique and cool. Or bonus points if it's anything that isn't American as heck, because I like hearing about people's lives elsewhere, even in, I guess, other parts of America, because even, you know, the Midwest is different from other places. But for me, the other day, I got to cuddle with a cat, and it made me realize that I have not cuddled with a cat in so long. Like, I don't even know how long. It's disturbing how long. And I just forgot what a wonderful experience it is to get kitty cuddles and to just snuggle with a little cat. And oh, it just made me cherish life and just be like, damn, like, I see why so many spirits revere the cat. Like, it's just such a, what a beautiful, wonderful creature. Yeah, so if you've got a cat, give him a little snuggle, a little kiss for me. Actually, if you have any pet, any animal, please do that for me. Thank you. And in terms of sensory things that bring me back to childhood, the smell of diesel fuel smells like my childhood, and I really like the smell. Actually, like, brings me back to like my childhood at the racetrack, and like I'm just like, oh, burnt rubber, diesel fuel. Also, the smell of horse manure and hay brings me back to my horse girl days, and I'm very fond of those weird smells. Even though they are not necessarily pleasurable smells, they are familiar smells that feel good to me and I enjoy. I kind of feel like I gotta incorporate the candle into the video now, given like how much my thumb hurts now. But I'm not about to move all this. So if you were part of Intro Squad, you're a real one. And you should comment a ghost or a pumpkin or a skeleton to let me know that you watched all the way through. But yeah, definitely answer those questions for me. I'm very curious. But with that being said, go ahead and scroll down to the description box or the comment section, where I will have all of the timestamps listed below. And once you have picked your pile or piles, I will see you in your reading. I'm just gonna state on the record that I hope that things get better for me in the process of this video, because my juicy butt bumped into the table, knocked my camera over, spilled everything everywhere, and now I gotta redo and set up everything again. Which is fine, because it's a labor of love, but funny and ironic given what we're talking about. So pray for me that my spatial challenges are solved. Hi there, Pile 1. Welcome to your reading, and thank you so much for being here. If you guys chose the, what I assume is granite, Jack Skellington head, and this first oracle card, that is the oak tree that says do the right thing. This is going to be your reading on the good news headed your way. Well, the good news you're about to hear about how things are getting better for you now to soon. I'm going to lay out the rest of these cards and then we'll get into your reading. Okay, hi Pile 1. I actually have so much good news to give you. The first thing I really want to do though is just like, I want to give you a hug. Some of you comment and are like, I always get the group where you feel the need to hug us. Do you say that in every one? No, I say that when I'm like, oh my gosh, like, baby, like you poor baby, like I just want to hold you and tell you everything is going to be okay. And I can tell you everything is going to be okay. The first thing I might encourage you to do actually is, if you're watching this right now before you've gone to bed, right before bed, turn your damn phone off, go to bed, and we'll talk in the morning after you've slept, okay? Now, if you're going to be stubborn and listen to the whole thing, that's fine, but one way in which things are going to be getting better for every single one of you is you're actually going to be getting some damn rest. How that comes about is going to be different and unique for each of you, but I see a big resurgence of nurturing and healing after a time of deprivation. The fact that we have do the right thing here with this oak tree really tells me that you've been in predominantly your masculine energy, and well, a better word for that would be your yang energy, because it's not supposed to be gendered. And the way that when I say masculine energy, I don't mean that in a gendered way. I mean that in a principles of energy way. So yang would be a better description of that. You've been in yang energy for way too long, and as a result your yin energy is super imbalanced, and yin energy is what's responsible for our own nurturing, healing, regeneration, going within. It's essentially the energy within us that's more receptive, intuitive. It's certainly not straightforward or easily understood, but it's the essence that represents your mental, emotional, physical well-being. It represents your creative energies, your the relationship that you have with yourself, your ability to be with yourself, and all of these things are things that are improving. So number one, your feminine and masculine energy, your yin and yang energies, are becoming more balanced in a way where how you have to act in life, the things that you are required to do, the things that are important for you to follow through on, not only are you just going to have more energy to do those things, but also I feel like doing those things won't feel like it's sucking the life out of you. Because I feel like for a lot of you, you probably feel like the life is sucked out of you, and that's making every other element of your life a million times harder, it's making you feel a million times worse. And I think that you've really just gotten caught up in the roles that you have either chosen or are obligated to play in the grand scheme of life right now. And I feel that those dedication to those roles, to those commitments, like I can see for a lot of you here, you're likely parents. That's one thing that I'm seeing here very heavily, maybe even new parents, which, like, congratulations. Or I mean, I guess if you're a parent, congratulations. Your bloodline is continuing. That's cool. But I could imagine caring for a bloodline is absolutely exhausting, and it's very hard to prioritize your own needs or even meet your own needs. So one thing that I see here is that there is some sort of rebalancing occurring where either you're being given the resources to have less of the load on your shoulders, whether that is a partner stepping up in ways that they haven't been in the past, whether that, because one thing that I do see here for those of you that are in a committed partnership with someone, that are in a generally happy relationship with someone that they love, you might be in a rough spot with your partner, and it's likely it has nothing to do with like true issues between the two of you, but rather a lack of connection stemming from the fact that you both are probably exhausted. It's possible too, you could be on separate schedules, or like, for example, if you have children together, or are a caretaker of any kind, it's possible that those under your care or under this person's care have required just more time, attention, and maybe needed more than they typically do. Or maybe you've been getting used to a new kind of schedule, a new type of role, if it is like a new parent sort of thing, or if you've added a child, a fur baby, or even something new like this, that you could be the parent of not a living thing, but of a creative thing. And you may feel like, if you're self-employed, or if you run a creative business, or if you're a creative person in general, you might notice that you don't have the energy to create. What is typically an outlet for you is too draining. And you might even feel this sense of stress, like, I don't know how to be the best version of myself. And this could be in many different areas of life, or the areas of life that are specific for you. But one thing that I see here is that everything is going to get better once you slow down and give yourself a little bit of space to start making yourself better. And one of the things that is needed in that, and I feel like for some of you, actually I wanted to say a lot of you have already recognized what needs to change in order for you to have more time and space to process and heal and nourish yourself. So for some of you, that has been, you know, reassessing with a roommate, a partner, anyone you live with, the shared responsibilities and the responsibilities between the two of you in a way where that like either they're temporarily taking on more so that you can have some room to breathe, or maybe they haven't been doing their share and they are open and willing to start doing that. Like maybe they didn't realize that you were doing a lot more than they were. However, if you are in a situation where somebody is not willing to lighten the load, is unwilling to be helpful, I could really see some good news related to that is if they have the ability to impact what you do or how you show up, or if you have maybe been in a position where you've enabled them to do less, you don't even have the energy to do that anymore. So that's ending. And in fact, even if there are certain responsibilities that don't get covered, it's not your problem because your head's on your pillow and you've done everything you've needed to do. For some of you, you might find that someone offers to help you with things for a window of time, or whatever the case may be. Either you're being given or you are creating much needed space and time for yourself to recuperate, rebalance, and regenerate from this very extended period, or this very long period for you where you've not only been overextending yourself, but you've also been undernourished and have been like, it's almost like you've used up the last of your just power through it reserves and there's literally no power left. And so the gift of that is, I hope you haven't reached a level of extreme burnout, but if you have, that extreme burnout is definitely a gift, because that's definitely going to be what helps get you back into a more balanced and centered place. But also, I feel like you guys don't feel like yourself right now, and that's because you are so deeply undernourished and disconnected from yourself, and likely sleep deprived, and just like on a physical level, really just not functioning in an optimal way. I mean, survival mode might just be the name of the game right now, and that's okay. But I do see here one of the things that has been making this worse is our small choices, where you've prioritized what you should do over what you need, and also prioritized unhelpful modes of thinking, unhelpful ways of communicating or talking to yourself, unhelpful ways of just like living for yourself, that while maybe satiate your ego, keep you deprived. So like one example of that is for those of you that are parents, or that have a creative career of some kind, I can see that you've probably been feeling really guilty. Like, even though you're still showing up and doing what is necessary, you might feel like you're not doing enough, or you're not being a good parent or a good creator or a good business owner or a good partner. And the reality is that might be true, but that doesn't mean you're bad. It might just mean that you're just quite literally physically unable to give what you normally can, to be as patient as you normally are, to be as inspired and open and excited as you normally are, because like, brother, you're running on fumes. Like, I mean, there's nothing will get better until you get better. So the good news is the first thing that's getting better is you. You're getting that time and space that you need. But also, for those of you that are spiritual, for those of you that have felt disconnected from your spirituality, or for those of you that have felt like you're ready for your practice to deepen, or you're ready to take more authority over your spiritual life, I do feel like you will, with this newfound energy, one of the things that you're going to be doing is spending more time exploring your spiritual side. You might be exploring witchcraft or Wicca. You might be exploring manifestation, creatorship, occult study, even religious study. One thing that I would recommend for each and every one of you is to get attuned to Reiki 1. Reiki 1 will allow you to do Reiki on yourself, which is just a wonderful healing modality. Pay attention though to places that offer it, because I've seen some places that were once local to me that charged like $400 or something crazy for Reiki classes. Now, that being said, I mean, I guess like, you know, expenses are a thing and things can be expensive, but I felt like that was a little unnecessary for like a Reiki 1 class. I think for a modality like that, it's a bit steep. So if you find offerings that seem very expensive, maybe do some Googling and see if you can find better alternatives. But one thing that I see here is like, part of why you've been stuck here and part of why you feel so confused about why you're here is because not only have you been so like sleep deprived, nutrient deprived, like sanity deprived for some of you, that lack of nourishment on top of just that lack of like time or energy to check in with yourself, it's like, yeah, no, duh, you feel out of touch with yourself because you literally are. Like, your brain is basically like, yeah, we can keep going because we need to. And as a result, like, I think you just have yourself so convinced that you can handle it and can keep going, that unless you pay attention or like, whoa, I need to slow down, the brakes are going to get hit for you, and you're probably going to feel like you got hit by a train, because like on a physiological level, it's almost like you have, based on just how your body's needs have not been met, and also how you've been so out of like sync with yourself, and just out of sync with like silence, nourishment, rest. And also, you know, one of the things that I think that has made this harder as well is that it seems like one of the things that has the things that you've lost as a result of this imbalance is like just meaningful time and connection with your loved ones, appreciating your loved ones, appreciating the time and the connection you have. Like, you can understand intellectually, like, oh, I should cherish like every moment with this person. I should, like, you know, I don't want to feel frustrated or be agitated. Like, I don't want to be in my head or stressed. Like, I want to be present, but that doesn't stop you from feeling that way. And so one thing that I see here is that as you start to care for yourself, not only do you have more time and energy for others, but also you're not fighting with yourself in order to enjoy those experiences. Because the reason you were fighting yourself to begin with was because you were in such a state of exhaustion, stress, and like overwhelm that just makes connection virtually impossible, because your system is freaking out. It's like, how are you going to connect with someone else when you can't even properly connect with yourself right now? Like, so you're going to find that another thing that is getting better is your intuitive connection. I think you will find spiritual gifts that you have either coming online for the first time or reconnecting to them after a long time of not utilizing them. Like, one thing that I see here for each and every one of you, even if you don't consider yourself a spiritual person or have never dabbled in like witchcraft or manifestation or anything like that, all of you have a gift for healing. This witch card talks about healing. We have healing here. We have healing in the Four of Swords, and we have healing in the Cauldron Synergy and healing. Each and every one of you has a gift for healing, and one of the ways in which things are getting better is I think your body is healing physically. Like, I think make sure you're getting like the right vitamins. For some of you, you might need more vitamin B12. For others of you, you might need more vitamin D. For some of you, you might need both. For others, you may need to discard that message. It may have nothing to do with you. I'm not a person to give medical advice, but if those of you that know you need those, maybe get it. Maybe some of you need a different kind of vitamin D, if you know what I mean. But with that being said as well, like it seems like because you've been in this place of imbalance, it's like even when you did have alone time to yourself or there was time to rest, it just feels like you couldn't because you were probably feeling guilty and ashamed of what you hadn't done, of how you didn't show up the way that you want to, of the fact that you feel like crap and you don't want to, of, you know, maybe you've taken time off of certain things and the guilt of taking that time off made it hard for you to actually focus on healing at all. So one really great thing that I'm seeing here is that not only are you getting a powerful connection to your intuition back, but you're also gaining powerful skills in the healing of yourself and the healing of how you see your story, how you see yourself, how you see your roles, how you see yourself as a person. And additionally, healing of any existing relationships that need it, where, you know, the intention and effort has been there, but like for whatever reason, it likely probably comes down to very physical, material reasons like stress, exhaustion, mismatched schedules. It's like you finally get to reconnect with people and gain the benefits of that connection and bring healing to, like, for example, an important partnership, you know, a relationship with a child, a relationship with a parent, you know, a relationship that you really care about where maybe you feel like I haven't been able to show up in the way that I wanted to, or I think you'll be giving yourself a lot more grace as well. And as you step into these wonderful things, and like just as you step into healing, because that's one thing that's getting better is you. Like, you are healing, and that is bringing healing energy to your world, healing energy to your relationships, healing energy to any creative projects or endeavors that maybe you put off to the side, or that maybe you've been, like, if you've really been struggling with like whatever writer's block is for anyone, creator's block, artist's block, I don't know, you'll find that you're almost overflowing with inspiration. It's like once your system can actually handle spiritual energy again, because it's not absolutely fried from just the sheer pain of existing and keeping going, on a lack of sleep, a lack of nutrients, things of that nature. Oh, and hydrate yourself. One way in which it'll get better right now is if you actually put water in your body. And no, actually, I don't care what kind of water it is. Just some kind of water. I don't care. I don't care if it's even one of those crazy TikTok waters that's more sugar than water. I don't care. Just drink things. I drink things that are, well, ideally drink water, filtered water, or maybe sparkling water if you're crazy. I don't know. I really love sparkling water. I know that can be a controversial take in the States, but I love it. And partially the reason why I love it is because it kind of hurts my throat when I'm swallowing it. And I like that. Anyway, I definitely just think like life is slowing down for you in ways that will allow you to play catch up. You're recognizing where you can advocate for yourself to get more space and time to rest. And I think that you're either recognizing how important and necessary it is for you to be unapologetic about your well-being, or you're gonna pretend like you're fine and get to a state where you can no longer pretend like you can function and that things are okay. But what's beautiful about this is that I think you're gonna find that as you take this time, as you take this step back, and as you're caring for yourself, you're going to get better at knowing what you need because you're actually listening and paying attention. So one of the things that is going to improve as well is your social life. This could be with people already in your life, or this could be, there could be new people coming into your life. For example, if you're trying to manifest a romantic partner, manifest like a soulmate type of relationship, whether it's like platonic, soul family, mentor, manifest friendships, or if you just want to spend like meaningful quality time with people, you're going to have the opportunities to do that. But at the same time, you're also going to have opportunities for alone time where you can regenerate and nourish, and also actually start to listen to yourself and your intuition. It's been virtually impossible for you to trust or listen to your intuition during this time because like there really is no connection to your internal world right now. It is operation, it is execution, it is just moving forward as much as you can, like forging forward, and like you've definitely been like upholding your commitments and upholding, you know, your duties. I always I'm so immature, but I just like duties. Upholding your duties, which is a wonderful and admirable thing, but I think that you've probably overdone it a little bit to an unnecessary degree, and also maybe part of you has been avoiding taking care of yourself or tuning into yourself and your needs, maybe because there is some painful emotional energy, or just, you know, or it could be one of those things where it's like, you know how when your room gets really messy, and so you just kind of avoid your room and pretend like it's not there, because once you do, then it's like, ah, yeah, man, damn, it's messy. But it's not messy if I close the door and pretend it isn't. So I feel like it's almost like your room is like your internal world, and you're just like, I'm just gonna close the door and hope that works itself out. But realistically, we know the mess is gonna be there till you deal with it. And the reality is that things are not as messy as you think they are. You're just sleep deprived, and so everything seems like it's a million times worse than it actually is. When I'm sleep deprived, I will cry about the dumbest things. I get so emotional so quickly. I can't think straight. I start to visualize and hallucinate things that are not there. Like I start to like see things like moving out of the corner of my eyes. Like I know I have not slept long enough once that starts happening. And yeah, a lot of what you feel is going wrong, or that you feel you need to be doing, or that you've missed, is really just a false sense of urgency created from an extreme level of deprivation and lack that you're experiencing. So once again, I say things are getting better. The good news is go the fuck to sleep, and like we'll talk about the rest of this later. But yeah, so I see like your social life gaining a better balance. I also see here that if you have been on the cusp of manifesting something like a romantic soulmate, or a best friend, or a creative career, or something that has a lot of deep meaning to you, something that you've been really emotionally attached to, you might have almost convinced yourself that this isn't meant to happen and that you can't do it. But the reality is that you are actively manifesting this. You already have been. The reason why it's not showing up, the reason why you're not seeing progress, is because of this imbalance. So once you slow down and start to regenerate and nourish yourself and become more patient, that is what's going to attract what you need. And one thing that I will say is, if you are trying to manifest something right now, or trying to bring something into your world, the key to doing that for you, for this group, is not about going out and making it happen. It's about embodying and attracting what you need outside of you. That's what the Empress does. And the Empress cannot attract what she needs when she is in a state of deprivation. She needs to be like taken care of well enough to like feel her own sense of self-worth, to feel connected to her body, to feel like good and fine. You kind of need to be at a neutral point at the very least in order to start embodying and attracting what you want. So I definitely think your sleep is getting better. I think that you're going to be feeling better within your body, less fatigued, less exhausted, more energetic. I feel like as a result, you're going to have more emotional energy. You're going to have more patience. You're also going to have greater clarity on where maybe you've been way too hard on yourself and making this whole situation worse. But I also see an improvement and a healing, not only of yourself or any past things that have made you feel like you only need to be in yang energy and in specific roles, but also helping you release the need to be like hyper responsible, or help you become more aware of why it is not okay, or it is something to excuse your own self-neglect in favor of caring for everyone else. Like, it's a wonderful thing to be caring of everyone else, but it shouldn't come at the expense of your well-being. Like, I think there are some things that maybe you justify because it's easy, because it's almost more confronting to do the caring thing for yourself than it is to sacrifice. And it's like, then you can validate any frustrated emotions and be like, well, I don't have time to take care of myself. I don't have time to feel good. Things can't happen for me because I'm doing everything for everyone else. And it's like, yeah, but how much of that is really necessary, and how much of that is I'm doing this because I don't want to do the things that I know I need for whatever reason. So the good news is that whatever reason you may have for that, I think you're not only recognizing the illogical nature of it or any fallacies in that, and recognizing how unfair that is to yourself and also to those that you care for. But on top of that, I think you're going to find that stepping back will allow others to step up in ways where maybe you didn't realize they were more capable than you thought. Like one example that I got is like, maybe one of your kids is at the age where they're ready to start tying their own shoes. And maybe, you know, you're just so used to doing it for them. That when you take a step back, you realize like, oh, they didn't even need that. Like, I think you might start to realize where you've been solving problems prematurely or doing things for others when you didn't necessarily needed to. And part of that could have come from a place of like not believing that others are capable. And I think part of you has maybe felt like achievement and doing and action taking is the only way for you to feel like you're being a good person, worthy of connection, worthy of acknowledgement. And that's not only like really sad, not sad and like, oh, that's so sad, but sad in a like, oh my God, like, no. Sad in a sense that like, it's so sad that you haven't realized that you don't have to work this hard for connection, for appreciation, for being like for just being accepted and loved. Like, if anything, I would be willing to bet that some of the people in your life have been desperately wanting you to care for yourself better because it's hard for them to watch you martyr yourself or sacrifice yourself on the altar of others. And so that's what's getting better. You're reconnecting to your own internal energy, to your own personal power, to your creative side, to your emotional body, and facilitating healing for yourself and others. You're also gaining a stronger intuition. You may be coming into new healing modalities or reigniting powerful healing modalities that you haven't been able to access while you've been so stressed out. You are re-nurturing yourself, getting the rest you so desperately need, taking better care of yourself, which allows you to take better care of others. And also, your tasks won't be something that you do because it's right. You'll do them because it's a natural extension of what you would do anyway, and it's almost effortless. I think that what's really cool is that as you do this, you're really going to recognize where you have been living in a deficit for a really long time. And that will allow you to move forward in a more balanced way because you're now aware of these deficits and what it feels like when they manifest. So within you, so it will be a much quicker process for you to be like, okay, I need a weekend just by myself, having quiet time, or I really need to spend some time with some friends. Like, one of the things here, the good news about this as well is not only are you getting healing and rest, but it's not just self-facilitated healing and rest. This is healing and rest that comes from spending a good time with people you love being around. This is healing that comes from, working through conflict or I wouldn't say dysfunction. I mean, it could be dysfunction, but that sounds like an extreme word. Chaos and imbalance in your relationships. Like, you're going to find that flows a lot easier. I know I've already said that, but I just wanted to make sure I cover everything. But ultimately, everything's going to get better because you're getting better. And if you don't take magnesium before bed, that might be something you want to talk to your doctor about doing. Once again, I'm not a supplements girly. I didn't show up to my biology class in college. I got a C. In my high school biology class, I'm a product of U.S. rural public education. For the first 3 months, my biology teacher called a Punnett square a Panay square. We all just assumed that's what it was called. Like, that's the quality of the medical and scientific research or knowledge I have. So take everything that I say with the smallest grain of salt and do your own research. But those might be things that are helpful. And I think one thing as well is if you don't know where to start by optimizing your sleep environment. Make sure you have clean sheets. Make sure that you minimize light and distractions. So maybe getting a sleep mask if you don't have one, or blackout curtains or something. Warning with the sleep mask though, I used to never sleep with one, and now I can't sleep without one because like the pressure on my face like helps my brain like recognize, oh, it's sleep time. And now it feels weird to sleep without one. And I used to never sleep with them because I was like, well, if someone breaks into my house and attacks me, I want to look my attacker in the eyes as they do it. Like, I want to stare daggers into them, you know, as I fight back. But sleep mask won. So I'm either blind to my attacker, or I'll get my, or I'll just do the American thing and get some sort of insane weaponry that will keep me safe no matter what. I'm not gonna lie, y'all, that stuff scares me though. I guess I should learn though, because like I'm getting distracted. Okay. We're gonna get some channel messages now from this mega deck. These decks came from she's Starseed Shelter on Instagram, and her Etsy is called SchoolofMagicArt. You guys see these a lot. I can't remember like the specifics of what they're called or whether they are still listed, but if you find SchoolofMagicArt on Etsy, you should see if any of these decks are available. But we're just going to get some channeled messages from these cards, and I would just invite any beings of unconditional love, of the highest good, and resonance with sovereignty that you would like to hear from. Feel free to ask, whether that is a passed on loved one, whether that is, you know, source itself, the universe, whether that's a specific god, goddess, deity, angel, being, go for it. I felt really called to ask Saint Germain, the Ascended Master Saint Germain. I'm probably saying his name wrong. But for those of you that maybe thought of him, or the Violet Flame or Amethyst vibes, that could be confirmation. But we're just gonna say Spirit. So Spirit, what would you like group number 1 to know? How are things getting better for them? It's okay to be lost. You will find yourself. Yeah, I think that this is really important because I feel like you might be feeling like you're failing. And not only do you feel like you're failing because you feel so disconnected from yourself, it's like, I don't even know where I am at to even be able to then gauge whether I'm where I want to be or not. But then it seems like in your roles in life that you take very seriously, like for example, partner, parent, creator, provider, service provider, caretaker, whatever it may be, human that's not a drain on society. You this time wasn't wasted. I think this time was actually very necessary because it was time for you to see how strong and powerful your own will is, and how powerful your own ideas are, especially in your own beliefs and what you think, because those are so strong, and your loyalty to your convictions and commitments are so strong that they overpower your own ability to just check in with your own needs and nourish yourself. Part of this process for you is going to be about you reclaiming security when it comes to acknowledging, expressing, and advocating for your own needs. Especially if those needs are different from the people around you, or different from what is considered normal, or what is considered like basic, you know. Actually, it is in slowing down you will find yourself. And I think one thing you'll come to clarity about is the fact that you'll be able to move forward in life a lot more quickly when you are caring for yourself, but also it's going to be a lot easier to hear yourself, and a lot easier to keep going and to act in balanced ways when you're not coming from this survival panic place. And also, message, one like piece of good news that you might not find to be good news, at least right now, because the brain loves certainty. But guess what? Your brain is wrong. Your brain is low-key been wrong a lot. And the good news is that your brain is wrong, because things are already so much better than you realize, and that you can give yourself so much more grace than you realize, because your brain does not need to know or be sure of the path you're meant to be headed on. And anytime you feel sure of your place in this world and your purpose, beware, because you're gonna find that soon after you realize that there's so much more to the picture than that. You're not meant to be one thing. You're not meant to be one role. You know, it's not your purpose to be a parent or to be a designer lanyard maker. I don't know. Those are some of your roles. They're not all of them. One role that you will always need to play is, and that you will, part of your purpose to play is self-actualized human. And the process of self-actualization is a lifelong one that never ends. So the less sure you are about life, actually, the easier it will be for you to move forward, because you're not going to be constantly questioning the divergence between what your intuition says and what your mind says and what your body says, and what your fears say, and instead cut through all that and be like, okay, here's what I do know. This will get me going till then. We'll regroup later. Nothing is wrong. You are not lost. You're right where you need to be. And where you're headed is a lot better than where you are, because it's you're going from the deprivation station to prosperity town to freaking self-care city. And I don't know, you're going there. my brain's starting to stop work. It's like, okay girl, you still got 2 more of these, so don't lose all your brain power. Noted. Okay, what else does group number? You need to fall apart sometimes. Yeah, so they're saying this is all happening. And I think like this reading could come to you. Things could get better sooner, the sooner you start taking care of yourself and taking time. Like for some of you, I think there is something scheduled, like, oh, like maybe you can drop your kids off for the weekend at your parents' place, or, oh, you know, maybe your partner is deployed or stationed somewhere and they're coming back, so the load is going to be, the workload is going to be more balanced, and you're actually going to be able to see one another, like for example. So do what you need to do to survive until then, if you know that there's like, if there's like a time you need to hold out until things get better. But also, as you're in this resting and regenerative process, I kept forgetting to say, there are going to be times where the right thing to do isn't necessarily what you want to do. So for example, there might be times where you're invited to do something really fun with people that you enjoy being around. That's the key. But part of you is like, oh, but I'm kind of tired and I was just going to stay home today and hang out. And if you choose to stay at home and hang out, the potential of being in a funky mood that gets worse and not utilizing that alone time could get stronger. Whereas if you do choose to go, you'll be like, oh, wow, this is actually exactly what I needed. Like, I just needed to be around my buds. Like, I just needed to have fun with my buds. Like, I didn't realize, like, this is what I really needed. Like, this gave me more energy than doing nothing at home would have. Versus being invited to do things, being invited to step out into the world and hang out with people. And maybe your heart is really calling you to spend alone time. And part of you is like, well, I feel bad saying no. And I already said that I would. Like, brother, this is 2025. Like, we can cancel plans. Like, I don't know about you, but canceled plans to me are like ecstasy. Like, oh, I love me a canceled plan. Like, spontaneous freedom that I didn't think I was going to have. Oh my God. Like, oh, it's getting me worked up. Like, so trust me, I feel like a lot of people feel that way as well. And also, even if they are upset, like, they can talk to you about it like an adult. You know what I'm saying? And if they understand your circumstances, they'll probably, even if they're hurt, understand and be forgiving and all that jazz. So when it comes to this process of healing, be aware of when what you feel like you should do, or what you feel drawn to, or what you plan to do isn't necessarily what you need. it might be what you want, but it's not going to meet a need. And sometimes that is going to manifest in ways where you can't really tell and you're not going to know what decision to make. So sometimes you will make the decision where you're like, I kind of wish I would have gone out, or I kind of wish I would have stayed home. It'll give you a better idea. And sometimes it'll just be a willingness to say, hey, what the heck? Let me just go and do this thing. That does sound fun. And see like, oh no, I really should have stayed at home. I am truly drained. Or, oh no, this is the type of like healing and restoration I needed. I just needed to have fun with good people. Anything else? Use what is around. So if you are trying to, I feel like this is encouragement to be creative. I feel like there are things that you feel like you need that that maybe you don't, or also it's like maybe you could be resourceful in different ways. We also just had Connect with Nature come out, and pretending. Number one, stop pretending like you're okay. Stop pretending like you're fine and that you can handle everything. And stop pretending like you're this inhuman force that doesn't need care or nurturing. But also nature could be really regenerative. And yeah, go in the opposite direction. Go in the direction of slowing down and caring for yourself. But also with this Ace of Cups, another thing I wanted to mention is that you're just going to be receiving more opportunities for fulfilling experiences and joyful connection. Be sure to say yes. Maybe sometimes the opportunity will be saying no, so that you have the opportunity to do nothing. And that feels great. Whatever it is, trust in it. You deserve peace, deserve relaxation. What's underneath this? Connect with nature. Consume things that help you grow. That's great. I would look into things specifically related to inner healing, related to, for some of you, like the need to constantly achieve and do might be like a trauma response. So you might want to look into like somatic healing or healing from trauma, or looking into things around trauma and how to heal it. But yeah, it's like these doors are open, but you can't walk through them until you have the energy to move your legs. So that being said, we're going to go ahead and finish this reading off. I decided we were going to do 2 guidance cards. So I'm going to pull this postcard from Spirit, from Heaven, from a specific source if you'd like, or just from Heaven in general. So for group number 1, please, Spirit, what guidance, what message do you want to leave group number 1 with? Okay, we have this one. But we're also going to use this deck because I love this deck, and see what message and affirmation and winged creature is supporting you on your journey. So if you see this creature or anything like that, take it as a sign of this message or a reminder of this message. So Spirit, what does group number 1 need to know at this time for their highest good, please? Ooh, we have the Griffin. So the name Griffin could be significant, or the creature, the Griffin, could be significant. We could even add hippogriffs if we want to add that, even because Griffin's definitely, I don't think a Griffin is a real animal because it's like a lion, right? We can add lions to this as well. But loyalty, power of the good, light bearer. And the affirmation is, I trust in the ferociously loving power of divine goodness. Goodness does not need you to be super nice or a doormat. You can be kind, but you can also be a divine badass living with integrity, courage, and truth. Ask the universe for help sorting out any issues you're experiencing so that you can learn from them without losing yourself to them. Wow, it sounds like what you freaking dealt with, man. I'm so sorry. But also, I'm not sorry, because if this is what you needed in order to realize that you need more and that you deserve better, and that, you know, you're not being a proper advocate of yourself and not being fair to yourself, I'm happy to be the deliverer of that message, so that you can get the care you need. But also, even if you are a parent, like, what does it teach your kids when you completely neglect yourself? I don't think it teaches them anything good. I think it even if that means that they have to spend a little bit of time, you know, with friends or entertaining themselves while you do something else, like, I think it's really good and healthy for them to know and understand that their parents have human needs and they're not just their parents. You know, you're not just a parent, you're so much more than that. Trust in the power of divine justice. You do not have to understand the workings of the universe to know karma works out all things according to a higher wisdom and timing. You can guide others with wisdom when you integrate your physical and spiritual realities. Be loyal to your values and your truth. So you're definitely starting to integrate, well, you're integrating balance in your physical reality that will allow you to bring the spiritual back. But to finish off, let's look at your postcard. Dear you, dear group 1, dear whatever your name is, there is a balance between, oh my God, stop. I love when cards like this just are so on point. There's a balance between activity and rest, ebb and flow. You can't have one without the other. If you are faced with an obstacle right now, the best course is surrender and non-resistance. Soon enough, you'll see how easy it is to flow around it. Now is one of those times when you must trust the river of your life. Go with the flow, and in no time, you'll reach what you have your heart and hope set on. Just remember, spirit will keep your head above water and will direct the currents. When it's time for a greater effort, you will know exactly when you need to work those manifesting muscles. It can be challenging to master the flow of cycles of your life, but as you develop your skills, affluence will be yours. Enjoy the flow and trust to those currents, for we're right there with you with our little umbrella drinks, smiling at your success. Love you so very much. And actually, yeah, you need one of those umbrella drinks. Like, if this was any time to indulge and treat yourself without causing worse harm to yourself, but honestly, at this point, it's negligible the harm, like how much more harm you could cause. So like, listen, if it's indulgence for a little bit of fun and a little bit of joy, I think you deserve to give yourself that. But group number 1, I bet this reading was long. Yeah, wow, okay. That is where I'm going to leave this reading. So thank you guys so much for watching and for letting my ads play in the background while you do something else. That is the simplest and easiest way to show support and show appreciation for my channel, to exchange energy with me, and to help me keep doing this without taking things like sponsorships and things like that, because I don't really want to do that. But also, thank you to everyone who likes this video. Not only does that help others who need to hear this message find it, but it also lets me know what you want to see more of, and helps me in the algorithm. You can subscribe if you haven't already. Be sure to click that little notification bell whenever I upload a new reading. You can check out my merch, social media. Please sign up to my email list, especially if it's before October 31st, because I am coming out with a special little Halloween themed tarot spread for you guys to try on your own. But if not, sign up for my email list anyway, because that is where you are going to hear about things like personal readings, if they're ever opening, new classes, opportunities, freebies, as well as random messages from me, because sometimes I just like to say hi. Email list gets top privilege, so if you want the most privileges, sign up for that. You can also check out Angelic Magic 888's candles, my candle line, any of her candles. You can use code ASO10 for 10% off. You can check out other videos of mine, ones with extendeds. You can be on the lookout for any classes that I might be holding in the future. But yeah, liking this video, sharing it with a friend, sharing me with a friend, sending me good vibes. I'm definitely sending you love and good vibes right back. That is all I have for you guys. So thank you so much for watching and for letting me read for you. I hope you all have a wonderful day or night whenever it is that you're watching this video. I love you guys so much, and I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye! Hi there, Pile 2. Welcome to your reading, and thank you so much for being here. If you guys chose the orange calcite witchy jack-o'-lantern and this blue oracle card that says make your star shine, this is your reading on how things are getting better, the good news that I have to share about the goodness coming your way. So I'm going to lay these cards out and then we'll get into your reading. Hi, Pile 2. I actually have super good news for you. News that I'm very excited to give you, and that is that you are closing out a huge cycle in your life. And I'm talking a cycle that's probably existed for most of or for all of your life. You are closing out a cycle where fear rules your behavior, where fear is stronger than love. And I don't mean, it could be romantic love, but love in all its forms. But also fear dictating the choices you make, how you show up. I've been hearing this song in my head as soon as I laid your cards down. If you've heard that song Golden from K-pop Demon Hunters, like, that song is you. Good news, that song is you. Okay, you're golden. You're done hiding. Now you're shining like you were born to be. And yeah, I literally can't listen to that song because it like makes me cry. It's such a bop though. So it being a popular bop, like, I gotta avoid. I hear it on like a speaker in public. I'm like, oh my god, I gotta be alone. I gotta run away from this song. Beautiful. And I think that this is actually, like, this is a long time coming for you. This is something that you have been working on for years and years and years. And the thing is you've always intellectually known, like, I need to stop letting fear make my decisions. I need to stop being so afraid. I just need to go for it. I just need to be confident. But knowing is not the same thing as being. And the thing is some more good news that I have to share is that something you've already manifested is well on its way to showing up in your world. And part of the evidence that this thing has been manifested is the fact that you are shifting from a fear-based viewpoint to a love-based viewpoint. And the thing is that a love-based viewpoint does not mean there is an absence of fear. It just means that the love, the emotion, the passion that you have for what you're doing, the belief in it, is stronger than the fear you hold simultaneously. An example that I can give to show you what that looks like, when I discovered tarot, I had this realization for the first time where I was like, I actually don't care what anyone thinks of me for doing this, because I love this so much that their opinions don't matter to me. And that was something where, like, that wasn't something that I experienced very often, like, just loving and even caring enough about something to have conviction in it and to be okay with however I may be perceived as a result. And that's where I see you coming in. There's something that, and I have to be clear, like, this is a manifestation that is, like, it is here. Like, you may not recognize it as being here yet, but it is here. The seeds have already been planted. Okay, when it comes to this manifestation, and you guys know what this is. Your brain is speaking it, your heart is screaming it, you know what this is. The seeds were already planted, but you might feel like this still hasn't manifested yet because the bloom has yet to come up from underneath the ground. But rest assured, what you've created is already manifested. You're just witnessing it come forward into your life. And you're going to see more and more of it as you do. Now, the only thing that was blocking this manifestation, actually, there were two things blocking this manifestation. And number one was, well, actually, I think there were three things. You not taking the actions you know you needed to because you were afraid. Number two, you not trusting in what you were creating and the guidance you were given because you were afraid it was wrong or afraid you would look stupid in doing it. And number three, not trusting in this manifestation because you were afraid of being disappointed, afraid of being wrong, afraid of being hurt by placing your faith in something and it not working out the way you hoped. All three of those things are fear-based. They're all three things I think you could narrow them down, categorize them however you want, but that doesn't matter. What does matter is that these 3 things that I listed are all things that were a driving force in confusion, distress, distrust, anxiety, and, well, switch anxiety to incessant worry. Incessant worry, maybe you can throw in some generalized anxiety in there, but I do think there was a deep level of pressure and fear that you were like that you were operating from, where you felt like, and here's the interesting thing, you actually felt pressured from both sides. Like, your ego is feeling a lot of pressure because your soul feels a lot of pressure to follow this man. Like, whatever you manifested is something that's part of your soul's plan. And part of you may be like, I just don't believe. Like, here's one sign that this reading is for you. If you almost didn't click on this reading out of fear of, because you were afraid of what you would hear, afraid you would hear something that you didn't want to, and decided to click on it anyway because you felt like there was something there for you, there's an excellent example of how you're already shifting from a fear-based perspective to a love-based one. Because in a love-based perspective, sure, you might hear something you don't want to. Maybe the most loving thing is to turn it off. Maybe the most loving thing is to recognize, maybe a reading isn't for us right now. Maybe the most loving thing is like, I feel drawn to this, so I'm not going to listen to my fear in this case. Feeling the fear and doing it anyway. That's the name of the game. And that's what you're stepping into, is feeling fear, doing things anyway. Feeling fear, making the choice to trust anyway. Because part of what has slowed this manifestation down, at least in showing up in your world, is being unable to put it down. Because you kind of were going back and forth between, I'm locked in, this is what I want, this is where I'm going, this is what my spirit is calling me to, that like what I am envisioning is realer than than where I am right now. Like, I feel like what you're manifesting is something that has been so deeply embedded in your heart, it would be impossible to pretend that this thing doesn't have significance to you, right? And because it is so significant, because your soul has investment in it, because you care, but you're also a human being with an ego, your ego is terrified of, oh my God, what if we look stupid? Oh my God, what if we try and what if we fail? Oh my God, what if we want this thing and the universe denies us? What if we get this thing and it doesn't make us happy? What if we get this thing and we fail? What if we get this thing and everyone hates us? All these worst case scenarios, but at the same time, that other part of you will not give up and let go of what you've been creating, because it's part of the reason why you're here. It's part of what gives your life meaning. It's part of what gives you purpose. And so it's quite likely you've felt a little bit like crazy. I know people don't like that word, but I would say you would probably say the words like, I feel like I'm going crazy, because it internally, like, it's like you've been in this state of extreme distress, confusion, uncertainty, shakiness, fearfulness. But outside of you, everything is solid. And in fact, your soul, your higher self, like your spiritual energy and the physical world around you are both incredibly solid. It's just the mental and emotional bodies, and mental and emotional bodies, as well as like physical, like stored traumatic responses, and then also just like learned behaviors that are not conscious, that have been getting in the way of what you've been creating. So you've been undergoing this big cycle, this big process. Like, your life up until this point, a big part of it has been about basically undergoing a purification process from what you came into this world with soul-wise, and what you dealt with in this world growing up, developing, becoming a human person, becoming the adult you are now. All of that conditioning, experience, has been undergoing a process of purification that has allowed you to change the game in terms of, for yourself, in terms of how you feel safe being seen, how you feel safe showing up, the choices you feel safe to make, the risks you feel safe to take. I mean, this comes down to even shifting your belief systems to recognize, like, there is a part of you that has believed deep down you're either not worthy of what you've been manifesting, or that what you've been manifesting, like, you're not truly capable of having it, or you're not meant to have it. It's like, and I see this so often, and it's so wild to me, because like, in the words of our Lord and Savior Cinderella, a dream is a wish your heart makes, okay? Like, we have the heart here feeling. It doesn't, like, you might feel like you are a person that makes decisions based on logic, and maybe you do in certain circumstances. I think we all should in certain circumstances, but I don't think you're recognizing that you actually make the vast majority of your decisions based on emotion. You only think you make them based on logic because your brain turns what you're feeling into words, and those words can be very convincing. And you may not recognize that those convincing words bring out another feeling of resonance or of confirmation or of validation of that feeling. So one thing that you're realizing is that in order to make the decisions that are best for you and the decisions that will empower you, you have to make those decisions from a place of emotion and from a place of love, not from a place of logic, and also from a place of recognizing how your fear masquerades as logic, because the ego loves to do that. Like, your ego's whole thing is protecting you and keeping you safe. And the ego is a gift. It's what allows you to be you in this lifetime. But your soul is not going to stop screaming for you to look at it, embrace it, and keep following this path that you're on, because your soul is meant to shine in this lifetime. You're not meant to stay fearfully hidden. You're done hiding. Now you're shining like you were born to be. I fucking told you. I'll say it again. This is excellent news. And other excellent news is that even in this chaotic, fearful process, you still manifested the fucking thing. You just haven't seen it. Well, you're either starting to see it show up in your world and it's freaking you out. That's okay. Or you just need to hear and know that you've already manifested this thing. You can't screw it up. In fact, actually, the only thing that's screwing you up is this feeling like it hasn't been manifested yet. It's like, it's almost like you're planting a seed and then digging it up and being like, okay, did it sprout at all? No, dang. Okay, let me put it back in. And it's like not letting go of just, you don't, like, okay. The good news is that you don't need to be hyper vigilant when it comes to this process. The universe has your back. Archangel Raphael has your back. You have your own back. Your higher self has your own back. The only thing that is getting in the way of you trusting yourself are the beliefs you've cultivated around being able to trust your own inner rhythms and trust your own internal guidance. If there's any healing that you feel, that if there's anything that you should do, it's look at where you still don't trust yourself and your own inner rhythms, because that's the only thing that is leaving you vulnerable as you step into this shift from acting from a place of love and truth rather than a place of fear and the desire to feel secure. And that, I guess that's one thing. You might confuse a feeling of security with being confirmation that a manifestation is coming. And you might also harbor under the belief that you'll feel secure in everything that you manifest and create. That's not necessarily the case. The good news and the bad news, considering on how you take it, is you're still yourself. When you receive manifestations, when your manifestations come to life, when manifestations become part of your world, you're still you. So if part of what you were manifesting came from a place of like, okay, well, this is an authentic self, or it's like, okay, you only want this thing to manifest in a way that doesn't work for your natural rhythms and your true self, that stuff isn't going to manifest. But the reality is that your soul isn't drawn to that stuff, your ego is. The things that your soul's drawn to, like being self-actualized, creating from the heart, being seen for what you create, connecting with others deeply, feeling loved and deeply loving others. Like, these are things that the soul yearns for and that the soul will never stop letting go of because it knows it's real. no matter how loud fear might try to be. And that is what you are stepping into. The fact that we have this Empress card here tells me that you don't need to be, once again, I know I said this, but I'm going to say it again, you don't need to be hyper vigilant about this process. This cycle that you've been undergoing has already been facilitated and protected by both your own guidance team, your higher self, and the universal forces that work with divine alignment. You are in alignment. And in fact, your biggest challenge moving forward is going to be, how good are you willing to let yourself have it? Because the only way you are going to be deprived of what you are meant to receive is if you push it away or say, no, I am not willing to receive this. No, I will not. And the only way that would happen, it won't. The only way that would happen is if it came prematurely and you were so afraid you'd say no, which would be an incredibly eye-opening experience. A lot of us want to manifest things, but we don't think about the fact that it's meant to be in our reality. You have already manifested this thing into your reality. It, however, may not be showing up yet. At least consciously and logically to you. However, the sign that this is here is in this fulfilling cycle of completion where all of a sudden you have the fortitude and the courage to make a different decision rather than make the decision that you're used to making. Instead of staying small, you're stepping out of your comfort zone. Instead of sticking with the devil you know, you're trying the one that's unfamiliar. Instead of getting frustrated and beating yourself up for staying small, you're instead letting yourself be seen and accepting whatever the consequences or results of that are. Not only that, though, you're really being encouraged to acknowledge your deep desire to see this manifestation in your world. Because I think part of you is afraid, even on a conscious level, to acknowledge how deeply you want these manifestations to be real, how deeply you want to see this in your world. Because you're afraid of, if you admit that, that's a level of vulnerability and a truth that by acknowledging it leaves you vulnerable to disappointment if it doesn't happen. The reality is that it's going to happen. It might not look exactly how you want it to. It might not follow the timeline that you would prefer. But the reality is that what you've already manifested is being created. Now, maybe some of you manifested some sort of situation with a person that's no longer in your life or someone that you don't want a manifestation with. That's fine. The universe is intelligent enough to like, for example, if you originally manifested something with someone and then realized, oh, like that, I don't want that with this person, that wasn't really a manifestation. It's like a mutual creation. Or, it is a reflection of manifestation, but the realization that they are not who you want that thing with is evidence of your manifestation working, because that which is incompatible with what you're trying to manifest can't manifest. You see what I'm saying? So, like, for example, if you were manifesting being a business owner, and you were manifesting the perfect business partner, and you had your idea, you had your eyes set on someone, and you're like, yep, it's them. They're going to be my partner, my business partner. Like, I just need to build up my brand, and then, like, hopefully I can wow them and get them on my side. And then as you start to build this and start to do your own thing, all of a sudden you're like, I'm not really drawn to asking them anymore, but should I still do that? You might try to reach out to them. Everything might be going well, and they don't respond. They're not willing. It seems like for whatever reason, this dream isn't manifesting. And that's because the only reason it isn't manifesting is because you're hinging it on this person or this specific thing. But when you take that out of the way, it leaves space and room for the perfect thing to come through, because you may not know that the perfect thing exists, or that or where it is, or how to get there. That's where divine guidance comes in, and you've got that in spades, babe. And in fact, you have the wisdom, the skills, and the intelligence to pivot when needed, to do nothing when it's not your job. I mean, that's what you're learning how to do right now. Like, because part of you has always felt intuitively that there's nothing for you to do, but that hasn't felt good enough to your conscious mind, because it's like, yeah, but if we're not on top of things, that's how we lose the plot. That's how, you know, things fall out of our fingertips. And the universe is really trying to get you to understand on a deep level that, number one, the universe is not a cruel being that lives to see you get your hopes up and then dash them. That's not how the universe works. And projecting that idea onto the universe will make it infinitely harder to trust them. So make sure that you're not doing that. But number two, there's a reason why our hearts don't let go of certain manifestations. There's something our soul is meant to experience. And sure, maybe the way that we'll experience it is different than how we envision it, or maybe how it unfolds, or what we need to learn or get in alignment with is very specific or takes time in order to really understand what we're manifesting or what we're meant to do. But the reality is that the only things that you're being called to do are things that you've been holding back from out of fear. And so whether that is being more unapologetic about what you want, no longer hiding parts of yourself you're afraid of. I mean, the fact that we have the elders card here, it's possible that you could have gotten guidance from some elders that you're meant to take on, that maybe you didn't see the wisdom in that you will see now. I guess if I'm older than you, I can count as that. I guess maybe, or maybe you're older than me, but I do channel ancient wisdom here, much older than myself. So the elder can be what flows through me and not myself, if you would like. But I also think that it's possible too, a lot of your lack of belief in yourself and in what you've already created and that's already showing up for you comes down to what you were taught by your family, whether about what you're capable of, about what love looks like, or how lovable you are, or how not lovable you are. I really hope it wasn't the latter, but this process is meant to help show you that wasn't the case and that wasn't true. I also think if there's any guidance that you received from elders around you and your family that you respected, that you look up to, that really took the wind out of your sails, dashed your hopes, made you stop believing in yourself, made you stop wanting to go after what you were manifesting, what you're creating, made you stop believing in yourself. You're recognizing the fallacies in what they shared with you, why that guidance isn't for you. And it's going to be a lot easier for you to discard it and move forward because you realize, oh, that advice keeps me in a fear-based reality that makes me feel disempowered and makes me feel incapable of having my heart's desires. XYZ guidance, that has lifted me up and made me feel like I can face my fears, I can trust in the unknown, I can handle challenges as they come my way, and I can have faith in this situation because I know that love is stronger than fear, and I know that I've been on this path for a reason. Nobody is going to come to you and tell you, hey, it's time for you to start showing your true self. It's a decision that you choose to make. Even when you feel afraid, it'll probably never feel like the right time. It'll probably never feel exactly right or perfect. It's the choice to do it that matters. And the thing about faith, like, how do I have faith? How do I trust? It is more often than not, it is most likely and most often not a feeling. You're not going to feel trust. You're not going to feel faith. You're going to choose to have it despite the fear or doubts you feel. That is where your strength comes from. To feel faith and feel trust are wonderful, beautiful things, but we don't always feel that. And so the absence of the feeling does not mean absence of its existence. The most powerful thing you can do is when you are struggling to have faith, when you feel like you can't trust yourself in the universe, to say, okay, universe, I'm going to trust you anyway. I don't know how this is going to work out, but I'm going to trust you. And part of showing that trust is not trying to worry and figure it out for yourself, unburdening yourself and being like, okay, I don't need to have it all figured out right now. What do I need to do? Also, just recognizing the power of your own voice and the power of your own prayers and wishes when it comes to manifesting. I guarantee you there are things that you have manifested in your life without thinking and without trying that you didn't even realize were manifestations. I swear to God, my dad manifested where I lived in my mid-20s. And it wasn't because of a suggestion or anything like that. It's just how it worked out. Like, he just used to say, I always pictured you living in this area. And then lo and behold, I end up getting a place in that exact area. And the type of place I got was the type of place that I knew if I lived in a city I wanted to live in, but didn't think about too hard, because I was like, it might not be available. It might not be doable, you know, cities availability. And I got both of those things. And it wasn't until like a year later that I was like, oh my gosh, didn't my dad say that he saw me living here? And oh my gosh, didn't I say that if I lived in a city, I would want to live in a place like this? Like, it kind of blew my mind. So pay attention, because you might find, like, you might realize, oh, there are things I've already manifested. And actually, I think you manifest a greater intensity of your own fears by giving them more power, by acknowledging them. Your acknowledgement is very powerful. What you validate is very powerful, and what you focus on is very powerful. And so using your conscious mind, your power of choice, to choose to handle your fear until it is subdued enough for you to see another option, subdued enough to soothe your nervous system, or at the very least do things to soothe your nervous system so that the fear isn't so overwhelming you can consciously think. Not letting fear cause you to act out of panic, to sell yourself short, to block your blessings, or to shy away from how life is calling you to step up. You're not doing any of that anymore. That's the good news. And the great news is that life is about to get a lot more fulfilling, exciting, meaningful, and powerful, because you're going to realize, wow, I had all that fear, I had all that doubt, I had all that uncertainty. I gave up a million times. I got confused. I went in the wrong direction. I blamed the universe for not giving me what I want. I didn't trust it. And despite all of that, I'm still here. I'm still bringing in exactly what I manifested. And I'm still on the right path. I didn't do anything wrong. And in fact, the only things I've been doing wrong are believing that my fears and the ways in which I've been keeping myself small in order to feel secure are things worthy of condemnation. They're not. They're things worthy of forgiveness and recognition, so that you are not debilitated by them in the future. But the beautiful thing is that you are doing that already. That process might be greater, and depending on like how that process unfolds for you is different for everyone. But the biggest thing is that you're letting go of carrying this heavy burden on your own. Like, I don't think you realize how much your nervous system has been strained, and how and just the weight that fear has had on your psyche, on your soul, on your body. Like, I think that you've been carrying a heavier burden than you realize. And in fact, as you start to dispel this energy, you're going to be like, oh my God, I forgot I didn't realize I could feel this light. I forgot that this feeling existed. Like, it's almost like you're going to be walking around without a 50-pound fear backpack on your back, and you're just going to feel so much lighter and stand so much taller and just be like, wow, look at all this stuff that I was carrying unnecessarily. And instead of beating yourself up, you're going to have compassion for yourself, because you're going to understand, yeah, that certainly makes life more challenging. Yeah, I understand why I was struggling to have faith in myself. Yeah, I understand why it was so hard to take certain actions. Yeah, I understand why, this was a greater battle. Your fears are not to be underestimated, but they are to be recognized and seen for what they are, and not given more power than necessary. Because while, yes, your heart and your emotions feel fear, you can also feel love very deeply, and you do all the time, for others, for life, for creatures, and even amazingly for yourself, which it shouldn't be amazing. In this process, it will get a lot easier to be more loving towards yourself, especially in terms of action, because a lot of times, to show ourselves that we love ourselves, it's a choice. It's things that we do. You're gonna do that. So the good news is that things are getting better in your world in terms of like how you've specifically been manifesting, like what you've been manifesting in your world, like it's getting better that way. Your ability to manifest in general is getting better. Your ability to be uninhibited and authentic and follow your true path is becoming easier and easier. The weight of judgment from others and the opinions of others, even the opinions of people close to you, will no longer hold the same weight they once did, whether they're supportive or unsupportive. You'll see the wisdom and the messages that keep repeating themselves to you, and you'll recognize why you've been getting repeated messages places. It's because you've been repeating patterns and you're going to be realizing there's a difference between knowing and being. You're making that switch from knowing that fear can't stop you to being a person who acknowledges their fear but chooses the action that their soul, their conviction, their heart is calling them to make. And this is just really beautiful because like life is just going to feel lighter and easier. And the thing is too, is that a lot of things will be so much easier in general because you're not carrying this weight all the time. And also you'll be able to discern between healthy fear and unnecessary fear. You're not meant to eliminate the experience of fear. Like fear exists for a reason, and it can have very beneficial purposes. Like it can keep you from making reckless decisions or keep you away from nefarious individuals. But at the same time, there's a lot of unnecessary fear, and a lot of folks, I mean, I'm pretty sure in America, like 1 in 3 people has generalized anxiety disorder. And as one of those 1 in 3, I can say like that level of fear it's not how we're meant to be living our lives. It's why it's a disorder. It's why it creates disorder. But no matter, because everything is all is well in the universal order, and things are just going to be getting easier and easier and easier as you continue to make moves that are choices you make on a soul and heart level from a place of love, even if it's scary. The beautiful results of that will make it easier and easier to keep doing that. And also the realization of when you do run into challenges, when you do run into hiccups, when you do face an obstacle, your ability to handle them and realize like, oh, it didn't ruin everything. There is no such thing as a catastrophe here. Like, you think in catastrophic terms around things where catastrophe isn't meant to happen. And you couldn't even manifest it if you tried. So sorry. No matter how hard you fear that the sun will disappear, it's not going to disappear. Unless it does, and then we'll all know. But we'll be dead really quickly, so it won't really matter. But point is, your belief in your creatorship, your belief in love's ability to conquer all, your belief in love being the root of the truest of all manifestations, you're going to see the evidence of that. And you're also going to realize how much power you are giving your fears and how much stronger they were because of the power you gave them. And also how important it is to recognize that, because you can really believe your own, like the ways in which, like your fear knows how to convince you of things. Like it's had a lot of time with you. So your fear is going to come through with some convincing stuff sometimes. And that's where love says, well, I know I can handle whatever comes my way. That's where you're meant to be at. And here's the thing, like the good news is that like even aspects of life that you didn't necessarily enjoy or just found to be a nuisance, I think you're going to appreciate in a whole different light, because you're not carrying this extra weight on your back. Like it's exhausting dealing with that much fear and hypervigilance all the time. When that slowly gets released and that burden gets lighter, oh my God, like I think you're going to find yourself being positive about experiences and excited and grateful for the most minute and small things that you never had the bandwidth to even recognize or acknowledge before, because so much of your mental energy so much of your energy period was being taken up by these diverging calls between, you know, your ego trying to keep you safe and your soul trying to keep you aligned with your truth and your path. And guess what? Your soul's gonna win every time. The ego can't, because the ego's part of the body. And I think where your ego could use some love is just in some self-esteem work, just recognizing your value and your beautiful light and how much it deserves to be seen, how much your uniqueness deserves to be acknowledged, how special your path is. Like, don't discount yourself by being like, I'm not special. All humans are special. And yes, humans are very similar to each other. That doesn't make us any less special. Doesn't make the fact that you love blue any less special. Like, yes, a lot of other people love blue, and that's because blue rocks. It's a special color. Don't discount yourself, your value, your human experience because it's a common one, or because it's a common desire, or because you feel like you need to be unique. You are unique. Okay. So now we're just going to get some channeled messages from any beings. Oh my gosh. Okay, one more message. This is something I want to be really careful with. But if you have an elderly family member that has been really struggling, I do feel like for some of you, here's the thing though, I feel like I want to be really careful with this, because like, I don't take this message as it resonates, but I do feel like for this person that you may be worried about, they're either going to be receiving healing that will allow them to heal from this ailment, or they are protected and being surrounded by a lot of love and healing, and also their condition is going to improve. Like, and also the conditions of their care are going to improve, which will increase their number one, they're just like, will increase their like happiness in general, but also increase their ability to be present and able to connect. Take that message as it resonates. I also do just have to say, like, especially with messages like that, take it with a grain of salt. I only give them when I feel called to, but given that we do have Archangel Raphael here in the heart, like, I do feel like there's a lot of healing, heart healing. And maybe for some of you, if there's a passed on loved one that you feel like you never got closure with, I do feel like you could be undergoing a healing process and gaining closure through this bigger cycle you're undertaking. And I also think that this being, you know, they're not the person that they were when they were alive, and they want you to know that they don't even agree with what they told you when they were alive, and they're glad that you're not listening to it. If it's something that was unhelpful, harmful, or something that really held you back or made you feel like you couldn't be yourself. Anyway, okay, that's everything. So now you can ask for these messages to come from an unconditionally loving source in resonance with sovereignty. It could be spirit, it could be Archangel Raphael, it could be a spirit guide, a passed on loved one, up to you. But we are asking them, they just have to be unconditionally loving and of the highest good. We do not mess with any, and in resonance with sovereignty. We don't mess with anything else. So, okay. Spirit, what do you want group 2 to know at this time? It's time to go home. Yeah. Like, it's time to go home to, well, now I just wanted to say West Virginia because I was here in John Denver, country roads, which some of you are like, oh dear God, no. There's no place I fear more than that. And it's like, fair. I love West Virginia though. As an Appalachian myself. Anyway, it's time to come home to yourself. It's time to make a safer home within yourself. And also, wherever or whatever feels like home to you is part of this manifestation. If another person feels like home to you, if a place is what feels like home to you, you are being called towards it. Like, I take this as extreme confirmation that what you've manifested is already unfolding, because it's time to go home. Like, it's time to go to that manifestation. Like, there's a reason why your soul never let go of it, and that's because it's like your soul always knew, like, this was something you were meant to do. This is something you're meant to experience. Okay, what else? Connect with nature. So yeah, I mean, like, this should go without saying, but like, nature is just a great way to like slow down, breathe, touch grass, realize that things aren't as serious as our minds might make them sometimes. But also, I just think nature can be incredibly regulating for the nervous system. So if you live in a dense city where you're not really able to be around nature, I would highly recommend like looking into like sound baths or like audio with nature sounds in it. There's this one channel that does like they do these Reiki healing videos, and the sound is like nighttime, so it's like crickets and I don't know, other night sounds, whatever's going on there. I don't know who's making those sounds at night. It's because it's dark. But I don't know. I think there's like frogs and shit. I don't know. Maybe the Mothman is like going, hey, bitch, have a good night. I don't know. Not in that audio, but I'm just making dumb jokes now. Point being, if you can't actually get out into nature, replicate the experience of nature as best as you can. I feel like the sounds alone are very healing, but ideally maybe getting by a body of water, getting, around some trees, or just even where there's less noise pollution. I think all of that will be really helpful for you, because like that is just like, nature is, it's crazy. It's almost like we were designed to exist on the planet that inhabits us. And this planet has a lot of healing frequencies that help us regulate ourselves. Also, movement is a great way to regulate fear. So go for a little walk. We also have books, messages, and wisdom. So I would really encourage you to explore perspectives, ideas, spiritual concepts, anything that gets you into this mindset and perspective that aligns with like the loving perspective that you're stepping into. But also when it comes to what you're manifesting, when it comes to what you've already manifested that's showing up in your world, let's be real, you're not manifesting it, you manifested it. Consuming, watching, witnessing media, books, messages, movies that replicate this experience. So for example, if you're trying to manifest true love, highly, highly recommend anything where true love is highlighted. Like, hello, Nightmare Before Christmas. Hello, Beauty and the Beast. Like, I know people like to crap on Disney movies, but like, first of all, that is so 2015 millennial coded and not welcome in this Gen Z space. Actually, to be fair, I am more of a zillennial. I'm like just barely a Gen Z. So I am a millennial apologist and do love millennials because they shape my culture. But millennials were wrong about Disney princesses, and I will stand 10 toes down on that. They were right about a lot of the problematic tropes and, racist stuff. That on par. But like, there is nothing wrong with a lot of things they were condemning. People acted like Cinderella was like a pushover, and I'm like, what movie did you watch? Like, she lets them know what she thinks. She's sassy. Cinderella is sassy. I don't know. I don't even like care that passionately about Disney movies to even, and they are, yeah, well, it doesn't have to be Disney, let's just say that. Like, books, brother, Jane Austen, come on, just read some Jane Austen. Like, Pride and Prejudice, great book. Like, even if it's indulgent, who cares? You need more of that. do more things that you love. Consume more things related to what you're creating, what you love, or how you envision yourself. If you want to be a pop star, watch Hannah Montana. I don't care. Like, just do the dang thing. Imagine yourself in it. Imagine what it's like for you. And get comfortable with the reality that not only is it happening for you, it's happening for you soon. So what in your material realm is not prepared to receive that? That's the only thing you need to take action towards beyond your fear. Okay, so we're going to finish off now with a little postcard from your spirit team, as well as a guidance card from the Wings of Wisdom deck. And whatever animal comes through, take that as a sign of an animal that is following you, that is guiding you. We do seem to have, like, I don't know what kind of bird that would be, but butterflies, birds, a specific bird potentially. Well, we'll get a specific winged creature, but also orange tabby cat, and that looks like it's a specific looking kind of dog. All those could be significant signs, but for group number 2, please, group number 2 spirit team, what would you like group number 2 to know at this time? What guidance do you have for my lovely group 2s? Okay, thank you. And now we'll get your little final guidance card. Okay, group number 2, my eyes are closed, by the way. What guidance and affirmation do you have for group 2? What does group 2 need to know at this time for their highest good, please? These decks are not... Ooh, you got 2 of them. Don't tell the other groups. Okay, so hand your worries to the Divine Feminine. Trust that she knows how to create solutions without force or aggression. You have the ability to settle your mind by tuning into your heart and letting go. What did I say? Yeah, the only thing that's stopping you is believing that you can. It's very easy to believe that you can't do something when you don't know how. But once you can do something, or once you start practicing, then you could start to believe it, because you start to can. Case in point, I used to believe that I couldn't shuffle cards. That was true. I couldn't. If you watch my early videos, I don't shuffle very well, if at all. And then our lovely friend of the channel, our queen, Kino Tarot, taught me how to shuffle. And then I realized the belief that I couldn't was wrong, and I needed to believe that I could learn. And guess what? I did. And now I'm a shuffling master. It takes a little practice and self-belief. Give yourself peace and trust in your heart right now. Even the most daunting problems can be resolved more gracefully than you realize. Letting go will bring resolution more quickly and graciously. Let me repeat that. Letting go will bring resolution more quickly and graciously. The Divine Feminine is reassuring you that all is well, and is an excellent reminder to let go of the reins, because Spirit's a better driver. I'm just going to be honest. So the dove is a significant bird for you. And I would also say that donkey. Peace, reassurance, resolution. Peace rises gently from within my heart. My path is blessed with grace. It's not only blessed with grace, it's blessed with blessings. It's blessed with love. It's blessed with what you've created for yourself, and it's blessed with what your soul agreed to experience. Wow, once again, it would help you to come out of your head and into your body. What practices could help you play, laugh, and welcome the healing energies that are naturally attracted to your joyful spirit? Consider adding dance, music, singing, meditation, and time in nature to your life. Be and share the light within you. The Earth Mother will support you with the opportunities and grace needed to fulfill your sacred destiny. There is no need to grasp or hold on. And let me repeat, there is no need to grasp or hold on. Let go and trust in what is meant for you. What is meant for you will not miss you. That's something to remember. Also makes me think of the lovely Rachel Zegler in whatever Hunger Games movie she's in, where she sings that song, like, whatever you can take wasn't worth keeping to begin with. Have that energy. It'll help you. Maybe watch that movie. I don't know. Or I would recommend the book. Oh, listen, Rachel Zegler is fantastic. If you watch that movie, all the actors are great in it. Just for whatever reason, I just didn't enjoy it. Like, I didn't enjoy the movie as much. I enjoyed Rachel Zegler, though. She's a fantastic singer and performer. Yeah, and I mean, like, Peter Dinklage is in it, Viola Davis is in it, lots of excellent people in it, but I still think the book is better. But yeah, anyway. So fairies, you also have fairy energy around you. These are energies of energy, manifestation, play, and your affirmation is, I shine my light with playfulness and pleasure. Finally, dear you, oh my, things are stirred up and changes upon you. This is cause for celebration. No need to be nervous, but know that it's okay to be afraid when faced with the uncertainties of life. The funny thing, oh my God, I'm glad I picked this postcard deck, man. Like, they're just like saying everything that I said. The funny thing is that courage doesn't get mustered in the absence of fear, rather in spite of it or even because of it. Step into the unknown now. Let go of the branch you are clinging to, and let spirit take the wheel and help steer you to your highest good and most wonderful adventure. All you need to concern yourself with is choosing courage as your ally. Leave the rest up to us. There's a load of miracles being shipped your way. Remember what philosopher Joseph Campbell said? Take one step toward the gods and they will take 10 toward you. We're all doing the destiny cha-cha on your behalf. That's right. Don't be afraid to dance. Loving you always. And I love that they said that, because that's exactly what I said. And so if you can't trust me, trust the fact that in this giant deck of different words that could come out of here, I didn't mean to smack you so hard, but that one came out. Magic! All right, like, that's magic, okay? You've got the magic in you. Every time you touch that track, or, you know, touch your own heart, you turn shit to gold, okay? And I just have to say, I'm really proud of you. I'm really excited for you. And I would love to know what's manifesting for you. But with that being said, group 2, that is where I'm going to leave this reading. So thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for leaving this video a like, and thank you so much for letting my ads play in the background while you do something else, at least for the first 30 seconds. Those are the simplest and easiest ways to show appreciation for my channel. Liking the video lets other souls like you get this information and hopefully benefit them. It also lets me know what you guys want to see more of, and it helps me get praised by the almighty YouTube algorithm, so thank you for doing that. But other ways to support me: subscribing if you haven't already, clicking that little notification bell to be notified whenever I upload a new reading, and also you can comment down below, let me know how it resonates. Please sign up for my email list. If you sign up before or on October 30th, you will get a fun free spread from me, but you should stay signed up for my email list, because any updates regarding personal readings, if I ever open them, will be sent to my email list and my email list only. If you're not signed up for that, you will not know if I ever upload, or if you will not know if personal readings are ever offered or an option. Fun random freebies like spreads and cute animals, as well as being up to date and in the loop with things like classes and being in the know. So that being said, candles, Code ASO 10, you can check out social media, other videos, loads of extendeds. You can leave me a tip. My Cashapp is palehag, my PayPal is my email, but that is all I have for you guys. So thank you so much for watching and for letting me review. Oh, you can share me with a friend. Watch other videos of mine. Send me love. I'm sending you love right back, and I do love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope this reading helped you. I hope you all have a wonderful day or night whenever it is that you're watching this video, and I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye! Hi there, Pile 3. Welcome to your reading, and thank you so much for being here. If you guys chose the red ghosty witch with the little free, pile free, pile number 3, welcome to your reading. Thank you so much for being here. If you also chose this pinky purpley mauvey oracle card that says let it go, this is going to be a reading on the good news you are meant to hear and how things are getting better. I'm gonna lay these cards out and I'll see you in a second. Hi, pile free. I have good news, and I have good news that might feel like bad news to your ego, but is actually good news. The first good news that I have to give you is that your feelings, or lack thereof, are not accurately reflecting your reality. Your reality is one where, and this is really good news, everything is going to according to plan. You're exactly where you need to be. Actually, in fact, one thing that I'm hearing is that you're a bit ahead of schedule in terms of like life path and these big goals that you have. The bad news is that you can't speed up the process in which you ground these big things. The good news about that is that you don't need to wait for those things to live a fulfilling, satisfied, and happy life. I know you know that intellectually, but you're not being it. The bad news of this is that, and it's not even bad, it's just like annoying, right? The quote unquote bad news about that being a reality is that, well, actually, this isn't bad news. The good news is that you can avoid, the really good news is that there's an opportunity here right now to make a very powerful shift that will not only allow you to enjoy the process of reaching these big goals you have and enjoy the process of getting to the future, but this, what I'm about to share with you, will also ensure that you don't wish your life away while you reach these milestones and reach certain achievements. The only bad news I really have for you is that some of the things that you're building are so big and important that they cannot be altered by how fast or slow you're doing something. I think some of the things that you're creating are beyond just you. I think that you've got a lot that you're building in this lifetime, and I can tell that you're a very ambitious person, and you're someone who is deeply satisfied by achievement and likely gets a sense of self-worth from achievement. But the thing is you got to admit, like, this is your reading if you've felt dead inside, or I guess it's kind of an oxymoron to say felt dead inside. You might be so apathetic, the world is just all gray. I'm literally seeing, like, if you guys watched The Fairly Odd Parents growing up, that one where Timmy wished like everybody was the same, and so everyone just becomes these same blobs. That's like what I was seeing of like life becoming gray. Like it's all the same thing, nothing matters. And I feel like your mind has taken that apathy or emotional stagnancy. It's emotional stagnancy for sure, because I do think some of your biggest emotional, your biggest like emotional experiences in your adulthood have centered around achievements that came along that were a long time coming, or you don't experience that. Even when you do achieve something, you don't experience a sense of fulfillment. You probably experience a sense of relief that it's over and that you did it. You probably think about what you still should have done correctly, and you're already thinking about what you need to do in the future. That, while great in terms of production and quality of what you put out into the world, is nightmarish in terms of you enjoying your human experience. And if this group needs to hear anything, it's that they're a human being, not a human doing. And so the good news of what you need to hear is that the things that you are craving, which are, and I don't even think you recognize what it is you're actually craving, we'll get there, is accessible to you in your present reality. And the achievement of the goals that you're already working towards, that, and which I do have good news around that. Like your goals are coming together wonderfully. You are moving, like your future is very bright. You're moving towards really wonderful things. You're not off track, you're off schedule. If anything, like you're a little bit earlier than what you're manifesting. So it's possible that there may be like even more time where you feel like there's like you're just waiting for things to come together. But the thing is you don't have to be waiting. you know what's in your wheelhouse and what's your responsibility to do. But the reality is that some of the things that you're building are much bigger than yourself, and they might take years even to come together. And you might be like, years? Probably what you're worried and thinking about when I mean years is not the manifestation I'm referencing. These are like manifestations that occur as a result of things you manifested earlier in life. These are like even bigger things that are able to come into your life that you're able to ground because you've created solid foundations, because you've had time. Like, one of the things that you may mistake as like a production issue on your end is just the reality of how things move slower on Earth than they do in the ethereal realms. Like, ideas move at the speed of light, but physical manifestations move at the speed of Earth and linear time. So, good news, what you're manifesting isn't going anywhere. Bad news, you can't hasten these manifestations. You can only hasten the process at which you're ready to receive them, and in which case you'll still have to wait until the other factors are ready. Like, for example, let's say you want to publish a book. You could have the manuscript done, you know, in a week's time if you've got an 8-ball and enough caffeine and a heart able to withstand it. That was a massive joke. I'm not recommending any of that. No, I wouldn't. Don't even go there. But I'm saying if you had those things, you could probably do it. But that being said, that doesn't mean that the publisher that will be drawn to your book has the budget to put it in production. Maybe the publisher that's right for your book doesn't even exist yet. Maybe there are specific rewrites or changes to your manuscript that won't be apparent to you until some sort of significant event out of your control happens that changes how you see your story. These are all examples of how it doesn't really matter what you do. Your manifestation is not being denied to you, but it may take more time than your ego likes because there are other factors at play. And in order for this to manifest and for the highest good of all, other factors have to be in place. It's almost like, let's say you're taking the bus and your bus is leaving at 6:30 p.m. Doesn't matter if you show up to the bus stop at 10:30 a.m. The bus is not going to come any earlier. It just means you spend a lot more time sitting at the bus stop waiting that you could have been doing. You could have been engaging in hijinks or tomfoolery. And speaking of hijinks and tomfoolery, the good news that I have for you is that life could be a lot more fun, fulfilling, and rich right now by just dealing with the emotional stagnancy or apathy. Now, if it's like extreme apathy stemming from like, like major depression or something like that, I would highly recommend, like, if you're not already in treatment for something like that, you really should be. I know treatment isn't always accessible, but at the very least, I would look in, like, there are like biological things that are helpful. Like, for example, making sure you're getting enough sleep, making sure you're getting nutrients and hydrating, making sure you're going outside. When the sun is out, making sure you don't close all your blinds, cut the light out, things like that. But the further good news that I want to state, that I feel like I started by saying, but there's just so much, and y'all know me, I'm like going from one thing to the next. The good news is that what feels like a massive failure, or what feels like something that will never come to fruition, which I see you are recognizing this apathy or emotional stagnancy that's making you feel stuck. Your brain is making you think that this is bigger than it really is, that this stagnancy is a huge problem, because that means that if you're stagnant, then things are not moving forward, that maybe your manifestations aren't happening, that, what you're working towards, won't come to fruition. The reality, the good news is that this emotional stagnancy that you feel doesn't have any bearing and doesn't affect the big things you're already creating for your future and the direction in which you're headed. And furthermore, this apathy or stagnancy in your emotional body, this restlessness, boredom, just like blah, this feeling is getting you to wake up to number one, where in your everyday life and routine, what needs to be discarded, what you don't need to take with you into this next phase of your life. And two, the reality that whether you've achieved these big things or not, if you don't deal with the emotional stagnancy, if you don't have just a meaningful, enjoyable time every day or week-ish in your life, it doesn't matter what you do or achieve, life is going to feel like shit. And then when you achieve things, you're going to feel even shittier because you feel like you should appreciate them and they don't feel as good as you thought you did. And now it's like, well, crap, now what do I have to do? And that's the thing, is it's not about what you need to do. It's about, well, what you really need to do is have fun. And the good news is that things can get better. The more you lean into what gives your heart meaning, lean into your inner child, and focus on play and joy. Like, even Sims, like fake people, have a fun need. And believe me, I get mad at them too when they're like, I want to have fun, I want to play the computer. And I'm like, no, you're going to play piano for 7 hours, okay? Because you need to get promoted. I don't care. But see, luckily, you are not a sim being controlled by me, who is going to force you and cheat your needs so that you can get the achievements necessary. You live in a balanced universe with an all-knowing, wise creator who doesn't want you to look at your life as a series of metrics to reach and a series of goals to achieve. That is a part of your nature, and that is a beautiful aspect of your ambition and your ability to shoot for the stars, to make incredible things happen in this lifetime. But you are going to rob yourself of your own life journey and not see it until you get to the end, when you're too tired to achieve anymore, and really regret not just slowing down to smell the roses or enjoy your dinner or be truly present with yourself and an experience. I think for some of you, you've kind of forgotten what being truly present feels like. And I think you've also forgotten the power of time flying when you're having fun. Because I feel like for some of you, you're like, the frustration at things not moving forward as quickly as you like, I feel like you take that to assume like, okay, well, I must work harder, I must do more. But the reality is that the current is carrying you at the perfect pace. You're flowing with the perfect pace. And what you feel is a reflection of you failing or not living up to these big life goals that you set for yourself are in reality just a reflection of the imbalances and deficits that have been created within you as a result of your need for incessant achievement and forward motion. In that pursuit, your emotional body has become incredibly stagnant. And not only that, but I feel like for a lot of you, there is some emotional healing that you're ready to experience. Because the Four of Cups can also talk about emotional guardedness and blocking ourselves from experiences that might make us open to something that we would feel any type of way about emotionally, or that leave us emotionally vulnerable. The good news is that fulfillment, peace, a happier way of being, and just generally a feeling of security and acceptance in how your path is unfolding and where you're at in your life, even if it's not where you want to be quite yet, enjoying where you're at and seeing where there is already opportunity to be grateful, where there is opportunity to make your experience more enjoyable, where there is opportunity to punish yourself less and treat yourself less like a robot and more like a person who needs like spontaneity and creativity and chaos and playfulness and goofiness and just good jazz like that. The good news is that these opportunities are already around you and are also coming into your world. And there's a big part of you that I think that has been yearning, and I roll my eyes at this. There's a part of you that's been yearning, and I put this in air quotes, to be Delulu. And see, the reality is that our deeply sick society is so spiritually and emotionally just starved for joy, healthy experiences, happiness, optimism, that we think those things are almost impossible or out of our reach. You know, maybe they're possible for other people, but for us to have those things, it's delulu. It is delusional to think that you can't have those things, or that you're not supposed to, or that everybody else can have them but not you. The good news is that moving into your emotional body, doing things that make you feel good, romanticizing your life, and just making space for beauty, sensuality, things that make you feel good for no other reason than they make you feel good and you feel happy when you do them. Those are the very things that you need most right now. And not only are those things not taking you away from these big things that you're creating and achieving in the world, they actually bring you way closer to them, because time flies when you're having fun. And you realize, oh, things are not as serious as I'm taking them. Like, you don't have to take them so seriously. You take life itself serious enough. And the problem is that you don't take your emotions seriously. You don't take your heart's desires and your own personal needs seriously. And you have not taken your need for fun, for creativity, spontaneity, and chaos seriously. All of you have homework, okay? You need to go, okay, my Appalachian roots are showing here, but like, if there is a pile of mud in your yard, I'm gonna need you to put on some crappy clothes, or, you know, a swimsuit you don't care about, and get in that mud and roll in it. I guess it's more fun when someone else is in there and then y'all mud wrestle. And if you have a four-wheeler, bonus points if you have a four-wheeler and then you go mudding in the mud. Listen, I'm just saying, as a redneck myself, like, if you want to know how to have fun, observe rednecks. Like, firearms, mud, giant vehicles, chaos. That might not be your idea of fun, but it is an example of fun that may be good in terms of being outside of your comfort zone, because it's chaotic. You can't be worried about how you look. It's you know, you're getting in nature and like, not to say that those are only redneck activities, and I'm not, like I said, I'm not discriminating. I am a redneck and come from redneck roots. I've got camo in my closet. I'm not ashamed. The only thing I will say is that my ancestors are probably ashamed. I've never touched a firearm, but you know what? That'll probably change, just in a need to feel safe. Yeehaw. But that being said, those, of course, are all aggressive and hyper-masculine ways of having fun. You don't have to do that. Maybe your idea of fun is hosting a tea party with you and some of your closest friends, or hosting a tea party with you and some of your closest stuffed animals that you hide in the back of your closet because you're too ashamed to admit you still have them. So you hide them from other prying eyes, but you don't get rid of them because you would feel horrible if you did and couldn't bear to part with some of your earliest companions. One thing that you could do is, instead of hiding them in the closet like a shameful secret, put them on your bed, like the power move that is. As a fellow adult with their own stuffed animals, I am not ashamed to say that my Hello Kitty stuffed animal is on my bed. Most of my stuffed animals are on my bed. And I'm a tax-paying adult. Truth can coexist. And I think in your pursuit of wanting to be taken seriously and also feeling like you're taking your path seriously, it's almost like you've looked at anything that brings you the slightest sense of joy, connection to your childhood, like childlike levity in general. I feel like you have discarded all of that under the belief that in pursuing any of that, you're not taking your goals seriously and that you're wasting time. Something that the grind set alphas of the world have yet to understand is that part of the reason why they feel they need that is because they likely have very deeply rooted emotional issues they are unwilling to tap into, and so they manifest in a very imbalanced and dysfunctional way of living that's rooted in self-punishment. The beautiful thing is that you don't have to live that way. And the good news is you're already in the process of making that happen. So one thing that's actually occurring right now is you are in a period of transition where you're not only releasing a lot of what you were conditioned to believe and how you were conditioned to behave, but also conditioning that you took on as an adult or as an older teenager and then adult around what productivity looks like, around what adulthood looks like, around what a respectable person looks like. I think a respectable person is, just treat them with respect, be respectful back. But a lot of people are disrespectful as hell and then get upset when you don't give them respect back. It's like, what? Oh my God. Okay, I'm gonna talk shit for a second because I think it'll make you guys happy. So I don't really respond to negativity very often. Well, not to brag, but I don't see it in general very often because my community is amazing, is full of so many amazing, incredible souls like you. So thank you for being a wonderful human. But I swear to God, sometimes God just sends me people that need to be bent over and spanked. And somebody, and this was like a couple months ago, somebody left me a comment that they specifically made sure to like respond to me about so that I would see their negative comment, and they berated me, yelled at me. They were so mean to me because of how long my intro was. And I couldn't help but laugh because I'm like, so you are telling me I talk too much, berating me for my intro, telling me that I wasted 11 minutes of your life, when in reality, you sat there for 11 minutes being mad without realizing that I literally say that you can skip the intro using the timestamps. In fact, I mentioned the timestamps. The timestamps are not only in the comments, they're in the description. You could have spent any of those 11 minutes maybe looking for them or finding a solution. But no, you sat there getting angrier and angrier at me while you chose to listen to me instead of being resourceful, reading, listening, using your eyes, or even just pressing one of the random buttons. No, couldn't have done any of those. No, we had to sit and listen so that then I could be yelled at from your lack of resourcefulness. So this person really comes up to me electronically and says, like, I can't believe you would waste people's time like that. Like, it's really rude and like nobody cares about what you have to say, like blah blah blah. Like just being a bitch. Like, okay, just being a bitch to me over something that she could have solved herself by just listening or reading. Like, it's clear that's a literate human being. You just chose not to use that literacy to make your life easier. You chose to use that literacy to be aggressive towards someone else who took the time and care to ensure that the problem that you're bitching about wouldn't be one to begin with. So I guess I will say, if you are loud and wrong and come at me, you can't be mad when I match that energy. So I did match their energy, not as aggressively, but I did say that their lack of resourcefulness was not my problem, and that if they had spent less time being upset over something they could control, they would see that these timestamps that I listed were there for them, and that in fact, they chose to waste their time. I didn't. It was very sassy. It was very sassy back. I wouldn't say it was mean, but I would say it was sassy. Well, saying that someone's lack of resourcefulness is not my problem is kind of mean, but it's the truth. And it felt really good to say. And it's just like, dude, what do you, like, don't come at me being rude, loud, and wrong, and they get mad when I give that back to you. So I responded, and then they respond back and they go, it takes two to tango. And I'm like, no, we're not tangoing. You came into my space, you were mean to me over an issue that was based in your ignorance. You had 11 minutes to figure that out because you told me that you sat through an 11-minute intro that you didn't want to. Okay, this isn't tangoing. This is me reminding you that I'm not an impenetrable force. I am a human being. And in fact, if you want to be aggressive, loud, and wrong, be careful who you're aggressive, loud, and wrong to, because sometimes I got time, and I had time for her, let me tell you. So all that to say, why did I tell you guys that? Mainly because I think it's funny to give people the shit that they give out right back to them and then see how they get offended and upset by it. It's like, this isn't too tangoing. This is you getting what you put out back and looking dumb too, because you made yourself look dumb by doing a dumb thing. And then being, like, don't be dumb and a dick. Like, you can be a dick and, well, don't be a dick at all, period. Ideally, we'd be kind, right? Point of all that to say, sometimes, number one, I don't know why, but maybe just me being sassy was something you needed to hear or recognize that, like, I don't know, it's okay to be that way. But also, even, like, especially if you're struggling, like, from an apathetic place, like, even negative or, like, emotions that frustrate you, even that might hold some benefit in terms of, like, getting to feel something. Like, I would say, like, in that instance, did I gain anything from responding to them? No. Did I waste my time? Yeah, probably. But did it kind of feel good to just, like, not take it on the cheek for once and just be like, hey, you know what? You're a dick and you're wrong, and here's why. Yeah, it did. Like, it felt really good. But it also felt bad. Like, it felt bad and it felt good. It feels bad because, like, it doesn't feel like, it's not worth it. It's like, I'm just stooping to their level. But it's like, sometimes give yourself that. And on top of that, when I say anything that'll make you feel something, ideally it's a positive emotion, but even if it's emotion of vindication, serving justice, or standing on business when someone wants to come for you, go for it. Because the reality is that people feel way too entitled to give their opinions or come at you for the silliest things for no reason, or, you know, for something that has nothing to do with you. I do think that we as a society need to put up with less of people's shit. But, like, it just seems like interacting is not worth it, and you just gotta ignore it. That being said, I feel like I tangented myself into a hole there. Well, I guess, one thing is be careful coming at me when you're loud and wrong, because, oh boy, you're not gonna like it when I use your exact words against you. I've gotten very good at that, like using the exact verbiage of what someone says and flipping it back around so that they can see the absurdity of what they said. Ironically, they get offended with that treatment. What is the point of this, though? Why am I saying this to you? I don't know. Maybe I just needed to rant. Maybe you need to rant. My comment section is open for you to rant about anything other than my existence or the lack of timestamps that are definitely always there for your convenience. Yeah, feel free to rant about anything you're frustrated with. But I would, maybe start it with, like, rant or something. Or if it gets a little, like, trauma dumpy, like, maybe put, like, a trigger warning or something. I'll be like, I'm accepting it here, but you know, just being sensitive to those who might read it, you know, putting a little warning might be helpful, but it might be cathartic for you to just let it out. Because honestly, it was kind of cathartic for me to say that, but at the same time, I feel dirty and bad and weird for talking about it, because like creators, we're just supposed to like, oh, we just ignore it, like, and usually I do, but sometimes if you fuck around with me, you're gonna find out. God did give me the gift of verbal murder, so be careful. Yeah. Be careful. And the irony is that you guys are the ones that wouldn't do that to begin with, because you have the resourcefulness to solve your own problems. The irony is, though, is that the only problems you can't solve are the ones you invalidate by seeing as not problems. Like, Spirit's brilliant. So, like, you know, for example, creators are often told, like, oh, like, just ignore it, don't worry about things. And, like, you learn how to do that over time. Like, you get better at that. But, like, when you're a human being, like someone saying, and I'm not talking about this past example, but just being exposed and having, you know, just, it's easier said than done. That's all I'll say. It's easier said than done, but excellent in terms of personal growth, personal development, and getting better at not only not people pleasing, but being more accepting of your shortcomings and your authenticity. All those things are great. But when we invalidate, like, what I can say to you is, if you have any creators that you love, please never tell them to just ignore something, or be sure that what you're, like, even if it's well-intended, sometimes it can just be invalidating of an experience. And I think that even your own, and so how I see this translating to you is that I feel like the way in which you've been treating your emotional body has been well-intended. I feel like it's like this, well, a mature adult doesn't let their petty feelings or their emotions or their wants get in the way of their goals and their pursuits. But here's the thing. Your emotions are not getting in the way of that. I think there's a part of you that just feels silly meeting those needs because of like this productivity brain rot that a lot of society has, where it's like, if we're not being productive, we're not worthy of anything. Play is productive, and play is the sign of a highly intelligent animal. Dolphins play. Do elephants play? I have to imagine they do. Horses play. Like, animals love play, because as beings, we need that sort of stimulation. We need fun. Like, even Sims need fun, okay? You are way more complex than a Sim. So you have no room to invalidate your own emotional needs. And so the good news is that you can start to feel a lot better a lot sooner by just not invalidating those emotional needs you have anymore. And instead seeing what is truly needed. Is it time with a friend that makes you feel, that just makes you feel lighthearted? Is it, you know, taking a night off to watch some movies that you really connected to as a child, or that you really enjoy? Like, whatever will give you a sense of joy and meaning. Maybe taking a trip to a place you always wanted to go to, or I'm just saying it's time to romanticize your life, and it's time to really start making your present fulfilling, because that is going to make your entire reality more enjoyable. The process of grounding these big goals more manageable, because you're not as stressed about the timing, and also you're better at meeting your needs, so you're less likely to fall into an imbalance that then leads to these illusions that this imbalance means that everything is failing. This imbalance means that nothing is going to work out. Everything is fine. And another message of good news that actually is related, but also is unrelated to what I've been talking about. During this time where of transition. And during this time where it seems like a lot isn't like not much is happening outside of you, even though there is a lot of change happening, you are going to be in a stable or balanced enough place financially to not be like struggling to make ends meet. Like I feel like your financial situation is going to be relatively balanced or consistent in the upcoming months. So you're not going to see like crazy change one or the other. Like I feel like you're going to like, and the reason why that's important for me to say is because first of all, I think you are grounding a lot of stability and material gain through what you're doing. But once again, you know, material gain is meaningless if you have a void in your soul. Just look at any really rich person and you'll see that. You know, your life purpose is not to bring more value to shareholders, as much as the shareholders would like you to believe that. But with that being said, I do feel like Spirit is going to be giving you is going to be doing things in the background to just give you a relatively stable financial and material situation. So long as you're not making really reckless decisions, which everybody here is not, it seems like you have a level of responsibility and balance there. You can justify spending more time doing things you enjoy. The problem with part of why you don't is because there's a part of you that might feel like I need to be doing more. It's like a security thing. It's like well, yeah, I know that I have enough for the next few months, or I know that I've got, like, I'm at a stable point, but I don't have as much as I would like, and I'm afraid that if I stop, I won't be stable anymore. This feeling of material instability is actually emotional instability that you are projecting outwards and believing that this emotional instability or this emotional / stagnancy will disappear once you feel financially stable. And then that will be a pattern that you get hella stuck in, because it doesn't matter how much you gain, that's not going to make you feel stable. If anything, it seems like the more some people have, the more unstable they get. And so that's why emotional stability and also just a connection to your emotional body is so important. You are meant to achieve really big things. And you already are. You've already achieved big things and you're continuing to. There are things in your future that you can't even comprehend that you're going to ground. And some of them I think have to do with like academic or like academic, researchy, like collaborative circles. Like I feel like you might create something really cool. Like you will create really cool things, like needed things for the world. And I think like you'll do that with other people as well. Like you'll bring different levels of expertise, and some of that expertise you're gaining right now. I feel like you'll bring expertise that you don't even have basic knowledge in right now. Like you're gonna, to future manifestations, you're gonna bring an expertise that you don't even have yet. And it's like you start gaining that expertise or gaining those skills or those things by exploring what you enjoy and figuring that out. And I think for a lot of you, it's been such a long time since you prioritized joy or did anything fun that you've forgotten what that feels like. And I think you know consciously and have ideas of what adults do for fun, but you may not find those things fun. Maybe a past version of you found them fun, but the present version of you is probably not going to find them fun. Like, my mom saved a lot of my toys from my childhood, and my nieces play with them now. And I love that. It's so fun to see them play with, you know, my one-armed dolls and crazy stuff like that. But it's easy for me to recognize that while I have sentimental attachment and appreciation for those toys, I wouldn't and don't have fun with them the same way that my nieces have fun with them. And in fact, I get more joy from watching them have fun with them than I would playing with them myself as an adult. So the things that brought you joy as a child are not necessarily going to be the things that bring you joy as an adult. But think about those core things that you enjoyed. So for example, maybe you don't play with dolls, but maybe you join an improv group and start to play pretend. Maybe what you enjoy is fantasy. And so maybe you give yourself the excuse to read that new fantasy series, or explore a new video game. Like, it doesn't have to be something that's like, I don't care if it's brain rotty and unproductive. If it makes you happy, do it. Doom scroll for all I care. I don't. Like, I really don't care at this point. And you shouldn't either. Because if it makes you happy, that's what's needed right now. And the good news is that you don't have to be unnecessarily discerning about doing things that'll make you happy. Because ultimately, if those things that make you happy are unhealthy or are not contributing to your well-being long-term, you're going to know, and you're going to make those pivots and those choices later. Additionally, I do feel like it would be helpful for you as well to clear out any stuff, or any beliefs that like realistically, if there's any decluttering that you can do, I think that might be very helpful, because it might just make space in your mind and just make your space itself feel more open, where you start to see and come up with possibilities you didn't have before. And also there might be things that you're holding on to that you don't need anymore, or that are just taking up unnecessary space, or are attached to times in your life that you really want to move on from. Because that's the thing, is like, part of this emotional stagnancy as well is ensuring that you don't spiritually bypass or neglect necessary healing that could become a much bigger problem later if not dealt with. So it's almost like you're being stopped at a checkpoint, where it's like, okay, realistically, your life path, your goals, what you're cultivating and building, that's not slowing down, but your perception of time will slow down or speed up depending on how well you're meeting all of your needs, not just the needs around responsibility, around security, but also the needs around feeling and fulfillment, and just giving your heart something to feel excited about, like giving your body, a sensory experience that you actually enjoy, instead of staring at a screen for 6 hours. Unless it's staring at a screen for 6 hours doing something fun, then you get a pass for that for now. But that being said, I really just do think that there could be just a lot of like energetic and emotional stagnancy that, which I know I've said that a lot, but some of that stagnancy I think has come from like past stuff you haven't let go of yet. And so I do think that getting back into your emotional body will get you in the process of releasing that naturally. And you're just going to feel lighter and lighter and lighter as you go. And I think what's really beautiful too, the even better news is that as you start to prioritize play and your emotional needs, and instead of invalidating them or like, oh, I need to have some fun, you're going to feel so much less resistance towards moving forward in general. You're going to feel so much less frustration towards your own humanity and the limitations that are placed upon you. But also you're going to realize that you are not bound to your achievements, that you're a free person. You're a free bird, okay? And you can fly and have fun and enjoy yourself now. Your worth, the beauty of life, the enjoyable parts of your human experience, those haven't gone anywhere. And if there is any action that you need to take big picture, long term, you will know. The reason why this reading might feel frustrating, or might feel like, it might be like, well, for some of you, you might be mind blown because you realize like, oh wow, I was looking at the forest when I should have been looking at these 3 trees. And for others of you, you're going to be mind blown because you're like, wow, I really did a number convincing myself of things that weren't true. And wow, it feels really good to realize that like things are not as bad as things aren't bad at all. They're not as bad. Things are not bad at all. The only thing that's not great is where you're at emotionally, and we can change and fix that. That might take some experimentation on your part and some trying new things. But the good news is, in this wonderful world, there is no shortage of things designed to bring us joy, even if it's the shitty addictive kind. I'm just not telling you, like obviously pure forms of joy that are deeply fulfilling and satisfying are obviously better, but I'm not going to be that guy. Like, if you find something that you enjoy, even if it's not necessarily good for you, just don't do it long term. Hold on to that till you find something better. I don't know. I'm just not going to be that guy that's like, you're only allowed to have fun if it's good and clean, you know? Some fun is dirty, like mudding. Okay, that came full circle. Love that. I don't even know if what I'm saying at this point makes sense. We've been on so many rants, but you know, that's the joy of pile 3. I love pile 3 because, or 4, depending on like how many readings I'm doing, because at that point it's like, it's the last one. I'm a free bird. I'm just going for it. Okay, so and also another piece of good news is that your past, especially the past that haunts you, is not coming into your future. And in fact, it can leave your present by, when it surfaces, making the conscious decision to either let go. And if you can't let go, then talking to yourself and being like, that is in my past, that is not in our present, we are safe. You know, whatever truths, affirmations, healing wisdom you've gained from those experiences, speaking that stuff to yourself, writing it down, almost coaching and programming these truths into you so that as you continue to move forward, it is less and less likely that these unwanted past pains or past memories, experiences, beliefs arise spontaneously or keep you in a state of feeling stuck. And what will happen as a result is you'll just start to feel lighter and freer, and also start to see pathways, opportunities, and explore things you wouldn't have before out of fear or shame of being judged, maybe judging yourself. And then also realizing, like, here's a giant ass piece of good news for you. The present and future you have everything they need to bring healing to your past self and to give your past self in the present, and to give yourself in the present what your past self needed but didn't know that they needed. So when you think of your past self, I hope you can lovingly hug them and say, thank you for carrying me to the present, but this is where I leave you and will continue to leave you, because a lot of what you're leaving in your past are the things that aren't truly you, and a lot of what you're moving towards in the future are things that do truly feel like you. And an identity that is far more complex than certain roles or certain things. You are becoming so much more than you ever thought you were, and part of that process is through finding what feels good to you, finding what gives you passion and purpose. I said it in another group, but when I discovered tarot, it was the first time I had, at least in my conscious memories, I remember a lot of my childhood, to be honest. It was the first time I thought, like, I don't care what anyone else thinks. I love this thing so much. It doesn't matter to me, or it's less important to me what other people think. I'm okay with people judging me or not getting it, because this is deeply meaningful to me. And so I feel like that is something that you're going to experience as you find these things that you enjoy. Because, like, let's be real, if I hadn't had the emotional experience of seeing tarot's value, my own ego would never accept me even exploring it. My ego would be like, tarot, that stuff's bullshit. Could you imagine? And I literally, the first time I ever watched a tarot video, I literally thought it was going to be bullshit. And thank God I was open to being wrong, because look at the beautiful journey it set me on. And I do think that some of the things that you're manifesting and some of the ambitions you have are things you can't conceive of yet, because you don't even realize that that's something that would bring you joy, something that's accessible to you, or something that you even want or would find meaning in. That's the beauty of the journey, baby. And you can't get there if you don't feel anything. So the good news is that nothing has gone wrong and everything's getting better, because you're no longer invalidating certain needs and rebalancing and reprioritizing needs to recognize that other needs are not more important. Some needs are not more important than others. Needs are needs, no matter how frivolous they are. But fun is not frivolous. Joy and positive emotions are not frivolous. They are very necessary in this hellscape we call Earth. And that's not, and let's be clear, Earth is not a hellscape. The reality humans created on Earth, now that's a hellscape. But thank God she keeps supporting us so that we can make it better, because that's part of what we're both here to do. And I hope this reading has made it a little better. And I hope my ranting and rambling wasn't too much, but totally understand if it is. That being said, though, however, if you part of that rant, let you know if you're gonna be mean to me about it, can't promise I won't return your energy. That being said, though, let's call forward Spirit or any unconditionally loving beings of the highest good in resonance with sovereignty. You can think of a specific being, a spirit guide, angel, goddess, God, someone you feel specifically connected to, or can just ask Spirit or the universe in general. But Spirit, what guidance do you have? What do you want group 3 to know, please? It's never too late. Yeah, like I really do think maybe there's some things you've wanted to explore. Start now. You're not getting any younger. Sucking at something is the first step to being sort of good at something. And you're not going to get any better by not starting and not doing it. And also, the brain is plastic until the last days of your life, which means that the brain is has mechanisms for healing, change, growth, and learning until you're on your deathbed. And I can promise you, you're nowhere near that. So chop chop, start having fun. Like for real having fun, not just what adults call having fun. Okay, what else? The heart wants what it wants. Yeah, like there are some things that you might really enjoy that you're robbing yourself of because you think they're cringe or dumb. I'm really glad that I didn't think that tarot was too cringe, or that I hid it from the world, or that I didn't pursue it altogether. If I hadn't, I would have seriously robbed myself of a beautiful, beautiful life, like many beautiful life experiences. I would have robbed myself of connecting with you, of connecting with your lovely energy, of encouraging you on your path. But also, I think your heart needs more romance specifically. Give yourself that. True love is real. Romance is real. You are deserving of having those, and romance is not cringe. What's cringe is a society so emotionally unavailable and wounded that it is unwilling to appreciate, acknowledge, or be supportive of love, loving experiences. Like, yeah, I'll leave it there. What else? What else does group 3 need to know, please? Use what is around. So I definitely think that there are things around you, like I bet some of you have like unopened crafts, or a book you've never opened, or things that you would really enjoy that you just forgot about that are in the back of your closet. Literally one of the best parts of decluttering is doing the thing and being like, hey, I forgot I had this. And then you're wearing like a random hat and playing like an old game. And like, sure, your room is worse than you started off with, but you discover all these things that you forgot about, and you could do the rest later after you've had fun, right? Do that. Okay. Yeehaw. I love how it really doesn't matter how many cards or how many steps I do. The reading is going to be however long the reading's going to be. And I bet this reading was long. Oh yeah, it's the longest actually. I really thought, I was like, okay, I was yapping in the last two. I really shouldn't tell myself to do anything because I was like, okay, maybe yap less in group 3. You got the most yaps. And I stand by it. Okay. This postcard can come from, once again, a specific being. I'm going to say your spirit team. But group 3 spirit team, what message or guidance do you have for group 3 at this time? Okay. I'm actually being called to pull 2, so I'm going to pull a second one. What guidance do you have for group 3? Okay. Ooh, got the stag. Look, you are beauty. You are beauty. You're beautiful. It's true. What does this one say? Be fearless. Love that. Okay. And then I'm going to pull one of these cards, which I'm going to read from first. And I'm going to close my eyes. But whatever winged creature on here, this creature could be a sign for you moving forward, a reminder of this message, a reminder of the affirmation on it, or just a powerful sign for you. Maybe it's already is one. Group 3, Spirit, what guidance do you have for group 3? What affirmation does group 3 need to tell themselves? And what winged creature is a significant sign for them? Okay. Ooh, we have the flamingo, which we already have right here. So flamingos are significant for you. We have authenticity, nourishment, individuality. Affirmation, my beauty is unique and inspirational. Give yourself permission to find your own way to live. If you do not feel like you can be your authentic self, check what influences you've allowed into your mind and life. Do you need to change your spiritual diet in some way so that you are taking in more physical, emotional, or mental nourishment? Don't be afraid to show your true colors. When you allow the real you to be seen, others will be able to recognize your beauty and grace. Don't hide yourself or deny yourself what you need to flourish, including a wild and free heart, which you need freedom. And I think you need the freedom to feel, the freedom to have fun, and the freedom to not perceive yourself or stop trying to perceive yourself so that you can get lost in something that you enjoy or lost in something that excites you. But let's see these postcards now. Dearest you, sometimes it's wonderful to give, but there are times where you might find yourself overgiving. Now might be a good time to check in and see where you might be cutting off the flow of abundance. Let others give to you even if you are more comfortable being generous and being the giver, the healer, the rescuer. And that being said, part of how you might maintain this balance and stability is by pulling back. You might find that you receive support out of nowhere that you weren't expecting, that even prolongs your ability to be balanced or prolongs your ability to not have to push yourself so hard and realize, oh, maybe I don't need to work for everything I receive. Maybe I can just receive some of it for the sake of it, like the abundant being you are. In the art of living, we sometimes overlook an important skill, receiving gracefully and with gratitude without diminishing yourself or trying to deny vulnerability or bring an agenda of equality to it. Receiving is hard for some people, maybe you. You do not need a this or that in your exchange with others. You are doing good in the world. Let the world give back and support you. Then you can give up old stories that have you convinced you have to do everything alone with no help. Let your well be filled. We all love you so, so, so much. And dearest you, the common sayings, be in the world but not of it, and wear the world loosely, refer to the need to be engaged with life while not being attached to specific outcomes. Do not take this world too personally, for you are one of many co-creators here to play, and we have many ideas about how all this should play out. Just know the outcomes don't matter as much as the presence you bring to each experience and how you let yourself flow through life. That is the whole point of this time. So let me repeat that. Just know the outcomes don't matter as much as the Just know the outcomes don't matter as much as the presence you bring to each experience and how you let yourself flow through life. There's a real freedom in knowing and accepting this. So will you wear the world loosely, or will it straitjacket you? It is your choice. Whatever happens, have the courage to keep trying to live as you are meant to. And And when it comes to manifesting, don't worry about the how or even the why. We have that covered. Told you. Everything is going to turn out exactly as it should. Spirit has a plan. Loving you always, forever and ever. Yeah, I told you. Told you, everything's fine. You just literally need to be more present with yourself and not invalidate your internal experiences and panic when they arise in ways that scare you, because they're really just arising to show you where you need more gentleness and where you need more nourishment, so that you can be a more well-rounded human and enjoy your life instead of just viewing your life as a series of tasks. The same way I do with my Sims, where I stop playing with them as soon as they've achieved what I wanted them to. Oh, pile 3. That's where I'm going to leave this reading. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you so much for letting my ads play in the background while you do something else. I'm not a monster. I don't expect you to watch them. In fact, I encourage you not to watch them. Mute them. Do something else. At least for the first 30 seconds. That is the simplest and easiest way to show support and appreciation for my channel. But if you'd like to support me in other ways, you can like this video, comment down below, let me know how it resonates. You can subscribe if you haven't already. Click that little notification bell to be notified whenever I upload a new reading. You can check out my merch, my social media. You can check out my candles. Be sure to use code ESO10 for 10% off. Sign up for my email list. Little freebie going out on Halloween, October 31st. But if this is after Halloween, you should sign up anyway, because any and all updates regarding personal readings, if I ever open them, will be communicated to my email list and my email list only. To get more free stuff, cute animal pics, random messages, little spreads, things like that. Be in the loop about new classes and things like that. If you're in my email list, you will always get special privileges, and that is a promise. So, other than that, liking the video, thank you to everyone who does that. That's a super simple and helpful way to show appreciation for my channel, and also to help others who need to see this reading find it. You can check out my other videos, ones with extended. You can share me with a friend. You can leave me a tip. My Cashapp is palehag. You can comment, you can leave it in like a super comment down below. And I believe that you can also, oh yeah, my PayPal is my email. But yeah, you can also just send me love and good vibes. Share me with a friend. I'm sending you love and good vibes right back. I love you guys so much, especially if you made it to the end of this. Leave me a moon face or the star that has like it's like a star, but then it's got those little things inside of it. Leave me one of those too if you got all the way here. I love you extra special if you did. Yeah, but that's all I have for you guys. So thank you so much for watching and for letting me read for you. I really hope these messages resonated. I love you guys so much. I hope you all have a wonderful day or night whenever it is that you're watching this video, and I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye!